Tonight on the Black Channel, I can tell you that we live in a system of white supremacy, but it doesn't help until I can show you that we live in a system of white supremacy. And things like this right here on your screen, it speaks for itself. No further proof need be provided, especially when you get into the details and the weeds of it here. The Karmelo Anthony trial began this week in Texas, a state long known for its racial animosity and white supremacy and racism, and they are living up to their example. Everything that you heard about this place in Frisco, everything you heard about their school district, everything that you thought about the school system, about the court system, is all being exposed and borne out in 1 week. Now, before you start jumping to conclusions and buffooning around about things there, what you see on your screen, that certainly is relevant. That certainly is relevant what you have on your screen there, especially once you start getting into the real details of it, because there's a reason for that. There's definitely a reason for that, and I want to go into that here right away. As you can see on your screen, Frisco track meet stabbing. No black jurors selected for the Karmelo Anthony murder trial. And I want to go into the details of that with you here. I'm not going to read the entire article. It doesn't really need that. It doesn't really need that. All you need to know is what it says down here. What's new? After meeting with the attorneys on Wednesday afternoon, Judge John Roach, what a name, excused the first 150 jurors. During the second round of strikes, the defense raised an issue over 3 potential jurors that the prosecution chose to strike. The defense argued that they were black females and similarly situated as another white female that the prosecution did not strike. Prosecutors clarified that the 3 women were struck for non-racial reasons. All 3 listed their occupations as educators, and it seems the prosecution does not want educators on the jury because the alleged incident happened at a school function with school-aged children. What is the relevance of that? Well, we don't want teachers on the jury. What in the world is the relevance of that? Of course, the judge sided with the prosecutors and agreed to strike the 3 women. A 12-person jury was seated with a mixture of both men and women. No black jurors were selected. Well, no, they just racially cleansed the jury pool. They just racially cleansed it. So, yes, sir. No, nothing corrupt going on here. Nothing at all. Nothing at all going on there. Not a thing. Well, then, what, you call that evidence? It says there is one educator on the jury, but she's an esthetician who teaches at a trade school in Dallas. I guess that can suffice for them. So, yes, absolutely. Look, the judge wanted a gag order. They wanted no cameras in the courtroom. Now you see why. When the judge issued the gag order and then doesn't want any cameras in the courtroom, this is the reason why. Right here. They don't, what was it they didn't want you to see? Remember, the Amber Geiger trial was televised. Texas, remember? The Amber Geiger trial was televised. That wasn't an issue. That wasn't a problem. However, it appears that this judge, and I've been saying this since the beginning, I think this judge watched the Amber Geiger trial and decided that he was going to put his finger on the scales. And everything that in that trial made it easy to have a just verdict, he was going to make sure that he immediately ran interference and stopped that from occurring. So there needs to be a gag order. There needs to be no cameras. Because, of course, if you're going to institute injustice, the first thing you want to do is get rid of the witnesses. We don't want anyone seeing anything. And so the judge, isn't it amazing, just as soon as the trial starts, get all the niggas out of here. So, of course, there's no lynch mob here. No, of course not. Now, there may be people who may be saying, well, Jason, just because they've racially cleansed the jury, just because they've done that, I mean, you call that evidence. You call that suspect. Why would you call that suspect? You're jumping to conclusions, right? Well, maybe I am. However, if I'm jumping to conclusions, then can you explain this to me? This is from the New York Post. Now, this was from their article that day. Jury selection in Karmelo Anthony murder case delivers major blow to defense. What? Jury selection in the Karmelo Anthony murder case delivers major blow to defense as trial begins. Major blow to the defense? Well, if this is a non-issue, if that's a non-issue, then why is it a major blow to the defense? If it doesn't matter. Why does the New York Post think that this is a major blow to the defense? Okay. Now, it says that Anthony's lawyer, Mike Howard, objected to prosecutors' last 3 strikes of potential jurors on Wednesday. Last 3 strikes. Claiming the dismissal of the panelists was racially motivated. So their attorney objected. He said, quote, those 3 were 100% of the available African-American jurors in the strike zone, Howard said. But prosecutors countered that the choice was not racial, but made because all 3 of them were teachers. And the judge sided with the prosecution because the judge and the prosecutor are on the same side. So, yeah, his attorneys did object. And of course, first thing they did was go to work there and say, okay, we all know what we're going to do here. We all know what we're going to do. I wonder what other professions you can keep out. If you're going to object to teachers being on the jury because this happened at or near a school, well, then by that, shouldn't we remove anybody who played football, anybody who played sports, anybody who has owned a kitchen knife? Why are we not doing, are we going to remove them as well? We're going to remove any educators. So, okay, because it happened at a school. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen at a school. So they were playing sports. There was track. So anybody who ran track, anybody who played football, anybody who played baseball, anybody who has attended elementary school or grade school. If you're going to kick off the teachers because this happened at a school, well, then shouldn't you be removing anybody who's been to a grade school? So homeschool kids only? We're going to remove teachers. Are we going to remove everybody from the grade school? So, I mean, as I told you, we're not even hiding I'm white and I say so. We're not even hiding it. They're just being out and out blatant in the open. They're just being out in the open with it there. And as I said here before, there's a reason why I want you all to see these things, because we can tell you that there's white supremacy. We can tell you live in the system of white supremacy. I can tell you about it, but it really doesn't hurt them until I can show it to you. Not till I can show it to you. Let me give you another example. The media, of course, not to be left out. A number of them are showing their true colors on things. I want to take an opportunity to show that as well. When you take a look here from the Daily Mail, baby-faced Karmelo Anthony heads to court to stand trial for murder. Babyface? What is... I don't get it, but okay. And there are no black jurors on the panel. Okay, I got that. All right. Then you go over here to the article. Well, folks, this is the article that the link goes to. Now, you saw what it said over here. Babyface Karmelo Anthony, Babyface Karmelo Anthony. You go over here and this is the title when you actually get there. Karmelo Anthony's very, all caps, very disturbing behavior after killing Austin Metcalf, 17, revealed by prosecutor in murder trial. So this is what you get when you get there. Couldn't help but notice, very disturbing. This is supposed to be a serious news website. Very is in all caps. Okay, obviously they teach courses in yellow journalism at this school. Obviously they teach courses in it. So, well, Jason, just editorial discretion here. Okay, no problem. However, if that's the case, I'm just curious, do they do this all the time at the Daily Mail? Is this what they do all the time at the Daily Mail? Or are they reserving this behavior and treatment for just black children that they can target? Well, here's for Chud the Blunder. Well, take a look at his headline. I don't see any capital letters in here. Hateful could have been capped. Slurs. Shooting. No caps anywhere. How about Kyle Rittenhouse? Yeah, you could have put caps for gun. Murder. No caps for Kyle Rittenhouse. Well, those are just two articles, Jason. Okay, here's the third one. Well, they put MAGA in caps, but then again, MAGA is always in caps. No caps for anything else. Yeah, buddy, I'm telling you, it's very interesting that, once again, well, we're not singling you out because you're black. Yeah, but you're treating us, the only folk you're treating different are the black ones. It's couldn't help but notice. The noticing will continue. Couldn't help but notice, and the noticing will continue. Now, blood pressure warning before we get started here, because of course I'm giving you the 720 degrees of analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else. This case is a bellwether moment because in the American social order, the white supremacist elements want to make it clear that they have a right to kill. They have a right to murder, and it must be done publicly and plainly to establish to anyone and everyone that white supremacy means the right that you have no rights, including the right to live. That they have the ability and the right and the privilege to harm you anywhere and everywhere under any circumstances. And that they will, just like the Stasi and like the Nazis that they are, they will immediately go to work defending their right to kill you, harm you anywhere and everywhere. And everyone is deputized to act to harm you or to speak to defend harming you. And I'm white and I say so is the rule of the land. Now, you've got a number of YouTubers out there doing the same thing, and they are very upset about this case because the idea that young black people can defend themselves against violence against themselves, the idea you do that is not something that you want codified in law. You do not want the idea that as a black person, you have the right to defend yourself. You want to make it clear to young children, you have no rights. You definitely don't have the right to defend yourself. Don't go getting it in your head that you are going to stop white supremacist violence with your own hands. Do not get that into your head. We're going to make an example to make sure that you understand. You just need to pray and hope that we don't murder or maim you. That's all you can do. But don't go telling yourself that you are going to stop the system with your bare hands. You live and die at our mercy and our will, but you have no rights of your own. And that's why they're all enraged about it, is the idea that that's what it's going to be. Now, I've warned you all for years. I've talked about this for years. I've warned you all for years because I have to make sure that people are aware about the folks who are out there. And I've talked about this for years. See, I don't play with these kind of folks. I don't do that. When these folks show up like that, when I see them, a lot of y'all, you've been conditioned to just go online and watch people online. And if YouTube feeds it to you, there you go. And I've warned you for years. I've warned you all about this Pillsbury Doughboy, suspected white supremacist right here with the yo, the 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all if you rocking with me. Hey, I've been to the pen. I promise I wasn't nobody's wife. What? So I've warned you all about this clown. I've warned you all for years, not months. I've been talking about it for years. Should have been ran his Michelin man-built ass up off the block. Most of you are smart enough not to fool with this bastard in the first place, but I've been saying it for years. Well, he's going to prove me right all over the place. So let's go ahead and see something here. Let's see if I'm correct in what I say, because I'm not going to take anything out of context, because I'm going to play his own words. Now, just a few days ago here, 6 days ago, what was the exact date on that? May 31st. So May 31st, he's talking about Wes Watson. Now, Wes Watson is a YouTuber. However, Wes Watson, who came to prominence during the pandemic, Wes Watson made no bones about it that in the California prison system, he rolled with the white dudes and the white supremacists. Now, Wes will contend that he himself is not a white supremacist, but in the California penal system, you got to squad up by race. Okay, but however, Wes made no bones about the fact that he rolled with the white supremacists in prison. Out here on the streets, he's not holding rank with them like that. At least he claims he isn't. At least he claims he's not. Okay. Be that as it may, Wes Watson was, he went to a gym. Some dude came there, wanted to start static with him because Wes was inviting folk. If they wanted a piece of him, they knew where to find him. Okay, he was still on prison time as far as mentally. I'm not taking the issue with that. So this fellow was a black fellow who came down there. He apparently drove, and him and Wes have been going back and forth in DMs, and I don't know if he staked out the gym or whatever the case may be. So he walked up on Wes at the gym, and they got into it. All right, regardless of how you may feel about that. So anyway, old boy got beat up because Wes had some buddies with him. All right, whatever the case may be. See how charitable I'm being. But I want you to listen here to what in the pancakes, 1090 snakes. I want you to hear how he characterizes this next set of events, and pay attention to this very carefully.
Was the move. This dude came to chase clout. And instead he ends up on all fours getting his shit punched in, and obviously I can't show the video. But at this point he's trying to get his shit together after getting beat up, and Wes basically soccer kicks him in the fucking mouth. Now don't get me wrong, at one point or another Wes's boys also jumped in and they beat the shit out of this dude. He got hit with a weight belt, he might have got hit with some dumbbells, he got kicked in his face, all type of shit. And if you can take a second to control the hatred you have for Wes, if somebody 7 feet tall walked up to you, started a fight with you, and you're with your boys, and they don't do nothing, you're gonna question them. You're gonna be like, why the fuck y'all ain't jump in? Because at the end of the day, this dude is fucking gigantic. Well, they beat the dog shit out of this guy, and then he pressed charges. Now we're gonna give a shout out.
Okay. There you go. With your yo. Hey, y'all. Okay. You got them kind of fellas here. So you heard what he just said. You heard what he just said there is that they jumped this fella at the gym because, well, he was 7 feet tall. Why, he's bigger and taller than Wes Watson. So, of course, it's natural that you would jump him, by the way, and hit him with weights and weight plates. So he could have been fatally injured. And yet, end of ice cream sundaes, sat up here and said that was perfectly fine and perfectly legit because, well, hey, when you got somebody who's that much bigger than yous, yo, you rocking with me, I'm rocking with yous. If you got somebody who's that much bigger than yous, well, then what you gonna do with somebody bigger than yous? Your nose? Okay, I'm very glad he said that. Certainly, he would not do a 180 if we reverse the races of these people, right? Certainly, if we reverse the races, he's not going to tell you that, well, if somebody's bigger than you shouldn't be picking up weapons to defend yourself or something like that, right? He's not about to do that, is he? Now, this was on May 31st. You come over here on, I'll be damned, June 1st, the very next day. And he's reading this article, apparently from the Daily Mail, and listen to what he has to say the very next day.
Usually pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf. He fled the scene but was soon tracked down and arrested. Anthony, whose family launched an online fundraiser to aid his legal battle, has pled not guilty and is claiming self-defense. During his trial, which is set to begin on Thursday, Anthony's defense team could possibly zone in on their client and Metcalf's contrasting sizes as a way to prove self-defense. Anthony is 5'9" and weighs 130 pounds according to the arrest report, while Metcalf, who played football, was 6 foot and weighed 200 to 225 pounds. Now, I don't know about Texas, but in Florida, the size of a person has absolutely fuck all to do with if it stands your ground. You're not just able to be like, oh, he's bigger than me, so I stabbed him. Because they're going to ask you, okay, well, if he's bigger than you and y'all had a confrontation, why didn't you run away? It says in the arrest that Karmelo stabbed him in the chest and then ran. Why didn't you just run away to begin with?
Okay. Now, did he have this energy for Wes Watson? Hey, Wes Watson, if you were scared, why didn't you just run away? You notice now when the races were reversed, all of a sudden, you need to run. He just sat here and was congratulating Wes Watson for getting other people together to jump somebody. So the very next day when the races were reversed, all of a sudden, self-defense, you don't have that. You should have just run. Why didn't you run? Well, he didn't suggest that Wes Watson needed to run. Hey, Wes Watson, if you were so worried, why are you hitting the guy with weight plates and barbells? Why didn't you just run, Wes? Please understand that white supremacy is rooted in inferiority. Social, physical, intellectual. White supremacy is about inferiority. White supremacists by nature, they have no honor. They're liars. They're devious. They're unscrupulous by nature. You are required to be unscrupulous in order to be one of them. You can't have scruples or principles. You can't be an honest individual. You have to be a lying dirtbag to be one of them. You can't be one of them. Otherwise, they would not have you. They wouldn't trust you. They wouldn't invite you. You can't be. So I wanted to show you all that these are individuals that YouTube has boosted. They make sure they have large audiences because Silicon Valley is infested with white supremacists in IT technology who set up the algorithms. These are the individuals that they boost and signal boost and multiply and make sure they get 1 million subscribers and whatnot. Meanwhile, for our program, they make sure to bury it. Make sure to bury it and hide it. But I wanted to show you all that in less than 24 hours, he went from, hey, if the guy is 7 feet tall, if he's taller and bigger than you, then not only can you use weapons, why, if you got homeboys around, they needs to jump this dude, man. The very next day, well, you know, if the guy is bigger than you, if you scared, why didn't you just run? Yous just needs to run. Yo, 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 I'm rocking with yous. White supremacy, you should have just gone ahead and runs. And that was what he said. So I want to show you the level of individual and characters that are out there doing this. I wanted to show you what they're relying on and what they're saying, because this is what they're doing, man. And YouTube is making sure that they are keeping that going. YouTube is making sure that they're keeping that going. Just in case anybody was wondering, and of course they're giving falsehoods. They're not telling the whole story here. Of course they're not telling the whole story, because they can't afford to tell the whole story. Of course they can't afford to do that. They gotta lie about it. They have to lie about it because they can't be honest about what the real issue is. At least most of them can't be. So when you see folks going around doing this, understand, I wanted to show you this to expose to you the character, or should I say lack thereof, of the folks who are attacking Karmelo Anthony. I wanted to show you exactly what they're about. You can't deny what you just saw here. You just heard him the day before tell you, if somebody's bigger than you, all bets are off and you can do whatever you need to do, including get other folk to jump them. The very next day, why didn't you just run? If you were worried, you should have just runs. Why didn't you run when that happened? That's not self-defense. You should have just run. And remember, when he was defending Wes Watson, he mentioned about, they hit him with barbells and stuff. Well, okay, those are deadly weapons. Notice he didn't mention that part there when he went back to it. He left that out when he mentions it and then doesn't talk about that. Your friends jumped him with barbells and stuff. Okay, those are deadly weapons. Well, that, in other words, that's the same thing that happened with Karmelo Anthony, except Karmelo Anthony was the one being jumped. So it seems that the Pillsbury Doughboy is, and by the way, it's always just these little weird dudes. The Pillsbury Doughboy is upset because, yeah, just understand they are weak. They are deficient. And the optics of these weak, deficient individuals, who it takes 4 of you to 1 black person, that's the kind of thing that exposes their weakness. That's the kind of thing that exposes their weakness. You've been to prison, and yet any 4th grader could take you down and stomp you in a parking lot. That's the sad part about it. Wes Watson is jacked and been to prison. He's not supposed to take an L from no civilian. Wes Watson is jacked and been to prison. He shouldn't need no backup or anything. That's shameful. That is shameful. How in the world you been to prison, you jacked up and every damn thing else, and hey, I need some help, against somebody who hasn't? You still need help. You still need backup. Dude, now I can't believe you was holding your own behind bars. I can't believe that. I'm just saying, say what the damn story really is. And so when they get out here on the streets, understand the inferiority complex is real. I don't know what you got tattoos on your face for. You might as well go ahead and put a cupcake on it. This doesn't say hard or anything there. It doesn't. It just doesn't. So these guys are worried and scared to death about what the optics of these things look like. They're worried about that because the only thing that makes these cowardly, soft, fragile individuals so bold is the idea that they can get away with anything. And they require a system. They can't do it by themselves. They need a system. They need a system to help them with their garter belts and their G-strings. What? They sit up here and tell these damn stories, and then as soon as something happens here, it's like, oh, they start screaming and squealing and going to Victoria's Secret to try on some new thongs. And that's what it is. It's that. That's what it is. And so, of course, in their eyes, taking a look at young black boys gives them PTSD. When you've always been deficient, this is how you respond. Now, folks, 1090 Snakes is one of these people running around talking about paperwork this and paperwork that. Then he should have already have had the paperwork on Austin Metcalf. Notice you're not hearing anything about that from him. Isn't that curious? Why hasn't he gotten the paperwork on Chud the Blunder? Isn't that all very curious if that's a legitimate thing? See, there's a reason why you do not allow these suspected white supremacist outsiders to speak on us. They've got no place speaking on us. What they need to do is talk about what they know. Little pudgy dudes from Boston walking around pretending they're the Sopranos or something. I don't know. But what they don't need to do is what we do not need to do is allow other people to dump their trash. Sit up here and claiming you know something about drill music. This is what the hell you end up with is other people's trash. Making YouTube channels talking about us. When this is the damn landfill. Somebody's low-life, degenerate, dejected, rejected ethnic trash is sitting up here trying to make a career speaking on us. And that goes for Trap Lord Ross and all the rest of you clowns.
And deal with it.
None, nada, zero, not a one should be allowed to speak on us. Not a single one. And you're a fool and a clown and an ass your damn self if you talk to them, spread that, give them an audience interview, nothing. None of them are legit to speak on us for nothing. Let them go back and talk about Taylor Swift and Katy Perry. Let them go ahead and do that. You got no business and no standing and no credentials to speak on us. None. None whatsoever. And this is what the hell happens when you do. There's not a single damn one of them. Not a single damn one of them who hasn't exposed themselves. Not a single one. Always with these really, Brother Neely Fuller, may he rest in power, warned y'all when these folks show up, everything about them is weird and fetishized. Everything about them is weird and fetishized. Adam 22, I covered that years ago. Pearl Davis. Every time you turn around, when you scratch right below the surface, I'll be damned, white supremacy. Every single one of these folk that anybody tried to get booed up with or schmooze up with, oh, white supremacy. Soon as you look around and turn around, I don't give a damn if you let black men lay up with your wife. You can call that a birthday present. Damn! They've been doing that for centuries. That doesn't change that they're white supremacists. That's not new. That's not special. It wasn't like you was doing nothing with him anyway, so you might as well go ahead and let her have a night off of pretending. There's always these deficient individuals, and it becomes a sick thing because I've taught you here, whether it's George Zimmerman or whether it's 1090 Snakes or any of the rest of them, it's always these weirdos and whatnot. And what they do is they eventually expose exactly how far they are off into it. It's the same thing every time. It is the same thing every time. Which reminds you here, by the way, because I was talking about this before, I posted this earlier this week. Let me go ahead and throw that up right quick. For those of you who hadn't seen this video, if you're not following me on Twitter, you need to be. So this, I'm going to call him a suspected white supremacist. This actually came out of Nashville. So right after Chud the Blunder, if you want to know if these are domestic terrorists who are inspiring people, by the way, where's 1090 Snakes to talk about that? And that other weirdo who claims he been to prison with the beard. Hey, everybody, what's going on here? That clown with the sunglasses and the weird beard and stuff. Like I say, run these bastards off the block. All these suspected white supremacists. No room for none of them. None. Not a one. So, in case if you were wondering if Chud the Blunder was there to attempt to inspire more domestic terrorists, this was something that happened in Nashville.
Witnesses tell me early Saturday morning, shots rang out and two people were in the street on the ground wrestling, the result of an apparent road rage incident.
So once again, these news reporters, don't ever forget that. These news reporters are there to try to skew the subject because they desire to see black people harmed. So, of course, they're not telling. He's got all the events. You see the damn video. The entire thing was caught on video. And yet, two people rolling on the ground. But that's not what the video shows you. The video shows you that the white fella began the altercation, assaulted a woman. But however, she's the enemy because a white woman with a black man. Okay, well, we can see what his problem was. So he showed who he was angry with. Now, if I saw the video and you all saw it, why is he sitting up here distorting what the hell occurred? This guy thought he was going to be another Chud the Blunder.
Jessica Jackson and her family had gone. While we don't know what led up to this, she says these two men were out of their cars.
Now, do you all see the size difference here? I want to remind you all, do you see the size difference? Inferiority complex was what I was telling you about. Yes, they feel inferior and they have a lot to feel inferior about. However, you all need to be careful when you got somebody who's sitting up and he's acting a little too bold. When you see this big of a size discrepancy, this fella ain't acting bold because he's courageous. He's acting bold because he's devious. And that's exactly what he exposed. He wasn't brave. He figured, I got the drop on you and it's going to be an ambush. So he's out there and whatnot, and it's man to man is a whole different thing, but he figures he's going to ambush somebody. I want to show you the events as it unfolded.
Some sort of an argument with the man in the green shirt being much more upset than the man in the gray shirt. Then she says a passenger who was in the car with the man in the gray shirt approached them.
She was talking to the guy in the white truck and said, go back to your car. And she pointed to his truck.
Then things escalated.
Oh,
Jessica.
Okay. Well, at that point right there, everything after this is self-defense. Now, I know that the Pillsbury Doughboy would sit up here, wait, now, hold on a second now, it depends on what it is right there, you knows, I mean, you can't do too much you knows. Guarantee you put this little round bastard on the first 48, he'll be sitting up in there talking like Zac Efron. Yes, officer, I don't really know these people over here. I really don't. I'm from Boston. I'm just a kid from Boston. I don't really know any of these people like that, sir. No. My name, my name is Jacob, Jacob. Yes, Jacob. Yes. Yes, I was born on Kyle Street. Yes, I absolutely, sir. I don't really know these people. Look, I mean, I listen to country music. I really do. This YouTube thing is this YouTube thing is really just a persona. I mean, I don't even listen to that kind of music. I have a friend who does, but not me. Not me, really. I listen to Jason Aldean and Frank Sinatra records. I don't really listen to all this trap stuff. I really don't do that, sir. Can I go home now? And it's gonna be that. Soon as he get back in front of the microphone, yo, I was down at the police station. You know, they tried to break me. They tried to break your boy, but you know we wasn't going for none of that. Boston. So that's what it would be. But yeah, the lady got out of the truck there, and his suspected white supremacist rage when he saw it was a white female, he was like, oh, you ain't ugly enough to be with this black fella. What? He looked at her, wait a minute, you're not fat enough and ugly enough. You should be over here with my Joe the Plumber looking ass. What are you doing? And that sent him over the edge. When she ran up a white woman getting in his face, Tucker Carlson would be having a coronary. Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles would be having an aneurysm. This would be the end of the world for them. Oh, it's a white woman and she's not built like Gilbert Grape and she's running up in your face for this black man. Oh, that's the end of the empire. The American empire has fallen. This is why they hate white women today.
And deal with it.
I mentioned that when Trump got in office. This is why there is a campaign against white women today. They hate white women. You want to know where all this hate's coming from the white dudes online toward white women? This right here. Whether it's Sauce Walker, what? I said it. It is too many white women out here making the wrong wrong choice. Too many of them making the wrong choice. Nick Fuentes would be looking for a bridge to swamp. Well, in Nick's case, it might not bother him very much, according to what folks say. I'm just saying. But yeah, dude, when she ran up in his face, I mean, she has totally switched sides. He couldn't take it. That sent him flying over the edge. Race traitor! How dare you! And so understand something. You saw from the video here, the brother was already in his face. Why didn't he have this energy for him? If he wanted to put his hands on somebody, why didn't he put his hands on the brother standing right there in your face? While he's built like a lollipop, why didn't he do that mess right in his face? Old girl comes up and all of a sudden, the white supremacists come out.
The man in the gray shirt approached them.
She was talking to the guy in the white truck and said, go back to your car, and she pointed to his truck.
Then things escalated. Oh, Jessica says at that point,
Now, the brother kind of hesitated for a moment because the fella shoved him and then ran back to his truck. Now, if he were sincere, he would have run to his truck and hopped in and closed the door and driven off. That wasn't what he was doing. So he was about to attempt to commit murder out here because his fragile, suspected white supremacist ego had been decimated. You have all these sleeper cells. These are suspected white supremacist sleeper cells, and if we investigate him, and I want folks to do that here in a moment, I want y'all to look him up online because I'm pretty sure there's too damn much smoke for there not to be fire. So when you got an individual like this, he was out there inspired by Chud the Blunder. He saw Chud do it. And he was like, I'll be damned. There's some niggers over there. Let me see if I can try the same thing. These copycats. And when this woman ran up, that was just more than he could take. That just broke him. He knew he shouldn't do it, but he couldn't contain himself anymore. So when the brother saw him running the truck, at first you see the brother sit still, and then he realized the fellow wasn't driving off. He was going for a gun. Dangerous situation at that point right there, though it was well handled. Almost.
Jessica says at that point, the man in the green reached for what she believes was a gun in his car. Moments after that, this video was captured.
Now, you hear the report talking about what she believes. Okay, she believes what? You said there were shots that rang out. What are you talking about, what she believed?
You can see the man in the gray appearing to disarm the man in the green shirt. It went on for a while. When police arrived, they took the man in the green shirt, identified as Robert.
Okay, Robert Moore. We need to look up Robert Moore. We need to look up this little leprechaun-built dude. We need to look him up. I am pretty sure that this little hobbit-built fella up here, I'm pretty sure where there's smoke, there's fire. We need to do an investigation of him. I want folks to get on that. We need to do an investigation of him because I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure he's straight out of Central Casting, the usual suspects.
Of Lebanon into custody. Police.
Oh, he's from Lebanon, Tennessee. Okay, there you go. He's one of them. Yeah, everybody who knows about Lebanon, Tennessee, he's one of them. So he's driving around. The place is developing. A bunch of black folk have moved around. They're coming down from up north. They're coming up from Atlanta. So, yeah, he's one of them Lebanon, Tennessee types. He's not really from Nashville. He's from Lebanon. So my folks in Tennessee, Interstate 40, y'all know, yeah, he's from Lebanon. He's one of those. He looks the damn part. Dirty, grimy, unwashed, uncivil. I mean, this fella looks straight out of the caves. He looks like a straight up Cro-Magnon caveman. Straight up caveman. Not accidental. So yeah, they're walking around with their caveman outfits, whether it's Chud the Blunder or what else. Yeah, this is the kind right here. So straight out of Central Casting. Cro-Magnon barbarian. Exactly what you would expect.
Say he was charged with assault and aggravated assault after allegedly discharging 2 rounds from a handgun in a road rage incident.
Okay, discharging 2 rounds? What do you mean discharging? That's attempted murder. Folks, that's a gun crime. He pulled the trigger. He pulled the trigger. First of all, when he pulled the gun out, that was the gun crime. Folks, the laws are already on the books in Tennessee. When he pulled that gun out, that was the gun crime. When he shot it, that is absolutely gun crime. Let me explain to you all. If the black fellow were a police officer, if the black man were a police officer and that white man fired 2 shots, would that be aggravated assault or would that be attempted murder of a police officer? What would the crime be? If the fella in green were a black man and the black man was a white police officer and the fella in green shot twice, what would that be? What would you be charging him with? You'd be charging him with attempted murder of a police officer. He wasn't just waving a gun. He pulled the trigger and fired it. They just gave a fella life in Florida for the same damn thing. He didn't hit anybody. He didn't hit the police officers. He didn't even hit close to him. He pulled the trigger twice and they said attempted murder of a police officer, hold this life sentence. Now, why is it that they're discussing this as aggravated assault? Y'all don't sit up here and let them water this down in your brains. This is attempted murder. If that were a police officer, you'd all be saying the same thing. Oh, he going to jail for life. You should not be saying, well, police officers get special privileges or special protections. He is a killer. He's supposed to be getting attempted murder. That's what he's supposed to be charged with. We're not supposed to see him for another 25 years. And I would like to get the word out in Tennessee for the prosecuting attorney. We are not going to have you dilute down or water down the charges. If it were a police officer, this would be attempted murder. You are not going to charge for assault when someone's doing attempted murder. You're not going to take attempted murder down to a misdemeanor, which is what they want to do here. You can already see them preparing to try to plea bargain this down to a misdemeanor. This was not a public fighter incident. This was a murderous killer who was looking for victims, and the only assault was on her. This was murder, and he was going to kill them. Now, I am disappointed in the brother. I am disappointed in him for this right here. I'm disappointed in this right here. Let me explain something to y'all. Buck 'em down, buck 'em down.
Man, deal with it, nigga.
He is a deadly threat. He has attempted to commit murder. He was armed. If he disarms you, he's going to kill you. In this circumstance, the brother should have put him down. This is self-defense. You are putting yourself in danger. You were already in danger when he was allowed to get back to his truck. You have disarmed him. The second he took a step towards you, buck him down and eliminate the threat. So I am very disappointed that he allowed this fella into a circumstance where he could have disarmed him further. Some of y'all have been around the suspected white supremacist so long, some of y'all sleeping with them. And you sitting up, jumping out the damn bed confused. Well, I can handle this right here. It's, my girlfriend and things. He remind me of, cousin Jean, and she got, sometimes he get a little drunk, he get a little loud, Oh, he wasn't going to do nothing with that gun. When she ran, he wasn't going to do nothing with that gun. I can take care of that. Okay. Some of y'all been hanging out with them for too damn long and whatnot. No. You see what's going on right here? Okay. I know all of y'all feel like me. He better be damn lucky that he was running up on that dude, because if he had ran up on the other side over here, this news story go a whole damn different way. If you all are picking up what I'm putting down, give me the black fist emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button. It's over 3,500 people in here live tonight. But if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, if that had been me, if that had been one of y'all, first step he took would have been the last. The first step in your direction he took would have been the last. That's a wrap, Jack. That's a wrap. He wasn't playing no damn games, going back to that car, getting a gun. Okay. If he had took one step, that would have been it. You gonna make the news. Don't worry, he'll be right here on the ground when them people come to get him. You won't have to ask him what happened. He'll be right here on the ground when y'all come get him. If you leave him, he'll be here till next week. He's damn lucky that he ran up on old boy. He's damn lucky about that, because first of all, I wouldn't have been out the damn car empty-handed.
And deal with it.
First of all, let me explain something to y'all. I wouldn't have jumped out the car empty-handed. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. You ain't gonna be here yapping off at the mouth. I wouldn't have jumped out the whip empty-handed. That's the first thing you're gonna know. Soon as he's sitting there in the truck reaching up inside of it, I'm like, okay, he doesn't understand. He is within the last half a second of his life. He thinks he's got another 10, 20 years to go. Oh, no, brother, you got about another half a second. It's all about to be over right here. You got about half a second to go. Half a second. I want my brothers and my sisters to be very, very aware right here. Don't y'all jump around here empty-handed. These white supremacists, we've been telling you from this microphone now going on 2 decades, they are looking to ambush you. You sitting up here ready to run your mouth, and these people are looking to ambush you. The whole reason for this altercation is the white man wanted to make sure that the fella was unarmed. He was sitting up here talking this garbage because what he was doing was checking to make sure you were unarmed. I want you all to peep the game. You want to sit up here and jump out the car and get loud and run your damn mouth and cluck like a chicken. This ain't the time for you to sit up here and channel your unruly auntie. This white man hopped out that car and all that talking wasn't talking. That was strategy. He wanted to get close enough so that he could confirm that the black fella was unarmed. Because he knows that he isn't. He wasn't bold like that because he didn't think he had an advantage. The only reason he was that damn bold and that mouthy was because he thought he had the edge. He thought he had an advantage. And this is what they do when the police assault you and everything else. What do? Check you to make sure you got no weapons, and then they start assaulting you. They want to make sure you cannot defend yourself. So he didn't hop out of his truck because he was wondering. He hopped out running his mouth. He didn't lay a hand on the fella. Once he was reasonably sure that the man was unarmed, that's when he started attacking people. Once he had confirmed to his own satisfaction that, oh, y'all don't have any weapons. Okay, good. I saw Chud the Builder, and it's time for us to take America back. And please understand something. They're all the same. They're all the same. They ain't got nothing to live for. Chud the Blunder is a damn failure. He's a freaking ridiculous failure in life with his kids. His whole damn life is an abortion. He's got no reason to live. That's why he can afford to crash out. He's not gonna lose anything. He ain't got nothing. Except stories about a black dominatrix who used to play with his orifices. What? And this guy is no different. Take a look at him. He ain't got nothing. He has nothing. Nothing there. That's why he's sitting up there acting like that. Take a look at that old ass pickup truck he's got. Oh my goodness, that's got to be a 2002, 2004. The pickup truck is old enough to vote. It's like a Chevy. The pickup truck is old enough to vote. What are you talking about? You can buy his whole damn life for $30. Yeah, it's got the multicolored tail lights. His pickup truck is old enough to get on the bus for half fare. What? So look, his whole damn life, the truck is dirty. He is straight out of Central Casting. He is straight out of Central Casting. He doesn't have anything. Whiteness didn't work out for him. And then he sees a black man and he's like, Albie, do you realize this fellow would sit up here and chop off both of his legs to have this black man's life? He's like, brother, you're dressed clean. You're not all dirty. You got a female who will ride or die for you. All this bastard has is a 6-pack of Bud Light and a raggedy ass hound dog. He's like, brother, that's why I think he was running up on him. He's, brother, can you put me out of my misery? Can you put me out of my misery, please? He ain't got nothing. Hell, getting bucked down would be the highlight of his life. He doesn't have a damn thing to go home to. Now he's sitting in jail, so I mean the whole damn situation got worse. He figured it couldn't get no worse. Like, oh, it's about to get worse. But yeah, he's looking at this brother's life. He's like, I'll be damned. He got him a white chick. She's not built like Gilbert Grape. She's running up on you. Okay, this was everything that he thought his life was supposed to be. This is everything that he thought his life was supposed to be. Y'all know it. He's sitting there watching this brother live the dream that he been dreaming about all this damn time. And that was it. He flipped out. And damn, these niggas, I can't take it no more. So I want you all to understand what the real issue is for these failed males out here. When they see these fellas, see, it must hurt your damn feelings. End of sandwich. To sit up here and have a YouTube channel and you have to talk about all these black males with all these white women falling at their feet. Damn! You have to do that day in and day out. So of course you're hoping that somebody will get harmed. Well, hell yeah, ain't none of them chicks. You're invisible to them. You have to talk about a bunch of black fellas who got white females you'll never be able to dream of being with, and you're invisible to those women. You're not just not there, you're invisible. You don't exist, so of course you're angry. Of course you're resentful. It's reminding you of everything you're not and everything you'll never be. It's too late. There's nothing you can do except talk about what these men done got done. Maybe if you're lucky, you can clean the wheels on their car when they done with them chicks. You might put some armor all on the tires when they done with old girl and drop her off. But that's the extent of that. You have no stories of your own, nor will you ever. It's not gonna be that. So we know why you're mad, and you are very justified in being mad. I mean, it hasn't worked out for you. The only way it worked out for you was to hitch your wagon to us. Y'all want to talk about tethers? What? I mean, if y'all really want to talk about tethers, there's some tethering here. So I want you all to be aware that this is bigger than Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony is always a symbolic. This is doing a temperature check for white supremacy. White supremacy wants to do a temperature check to see if the system is strong, and their definition of a strong system is being able to practice injustice, oppression with impunity. Yes, it needs to be naked. Yes, it needs to be obvious. Yes, we're violating your rights. Yes, we get away with it. That's why Trump is their hero. Trump is their hero because he represents injustice with impunity, which to them is the purest form of white supremacy. Injustice with impunity. And if we got that, everything's good. But if we don't, there's a problem. And now, you can see that they've been inspired by others, and this should not be taken unseriously. This is a deadly threat. I want you all to be aware this is a very serious thing when you see this. That is not accidental. They're not just jumping up for nothing. They're trying to get themselves bucked up. They see Trump in the White House. They see white supremacists going around, a few of them, and understand it'll only take a few of them going to jail. Once you put a few of them in jail and they realize, oh hell, the game done changed, they're all going to try to move out to Utah or something like that. What? They're all going to try to do that. They're going to be, all of a sudden, they're going to be complaining about Tennessee and places like that. Tennessee done changed. It ain't right no more. It's going to be like that. That's what they'll be doing. It'll be like that. So be aware of what you're dealing with here. Be aware of what you're dealing with. I don't want you all jumping around out there for nothing. That also with your children. That was also with your children here. Do not let your kids be just going around unaccompanied. Do not let them sit up here and do that, because if they can't get you, they're looking for soft targets everywhere. That was Karmelo Anthony. That was Karmelo Anthony. They are looking for soft targets. I need everybody in here. You got children, you got nieces, you got nephews. Understand, these white supremacists are terrorist cells, and they're out here looking for soft targets. That's why I was showing you this video. This is very important This is a textbook example of an individual who you're taking a look at and realizing, okay, there's a problem here. Why is he being so damn bold? He's not being bold because he's tough. He's being bold because white supremacists rely on treachery and deception. He has no intention whatsoever of confronting you on manhood terms. He's like, oh, I think I got an edge. So I want you all to be aware, when you are confronted by a white supremacist, he's checking them. He knows he's inferior. He's checking to make sure that he's got the advantage. If he's not sure he has the advantage, he's not going to move. Chud the Blunder sits up here and goes on courthouse grounds with a gun. Well, he should be in jail the rest of his life because you try that. Any of you try going to your local courthouse and just stand outside on the courthouse steps with a gun or shoot somebody on the courthouse steps. You know full damn well we'll see you in a couple of decades. It's not accidental. So I want you all to be aware. The rules haven't changed. And every once in a while, we need something like this to happen to remind you, oh, stop, don't be silly. The rules ain't changed. The rules have not changed. They are very much out here, and they're trying to get themselves more emboldened. So Chud the Blunder, and that one hasn't gone very well either, which, by the way, End of Sandwich ain't happy about that either. While I was researching this, End of Sandwich was not happy with that either. End of Subway was defending Chud the Blunder. So just understand, all of them across the board, there is no harm to a black person that they are not fully in favor of. They're always arguing for why that's okay. They're always leaving out information. When they do talk about these stories, they leave out the necessary information for it here. You don't get to go to a courthouse with a gun. That's it. After that, it's all bets off. Even in Florida, you go to a Florida courthouse with a gun and shoot somebody and see if you get a bail at all. So they're all very upset because Chud the Blunder told himself that he's going to crash out, and he went in the courthouse and the judge said no. In Tennessee, nobody wants to, because he understands something. End of Sock Puppets sat up here, End of Dentist. He didn't mention the fact that Chud the Blunder was already out on bond. So let me get this straight. You've already committed crimes. You're already out on bond. Then you turn around and commit a gun crime on video. And you're looking for another bail bondsman. Another bail bondsman. So just understand, End of Spaghetti didn't sit up here and mention any of that, hey, Chud the Blunder was already out on bond. At that point, you ain't got no leg to stand on. You can't commit any more crimes. You're already out on bond, and he deliberately goes out and commits another one, and he's sitting up here crying because he can't get bail because they want him to have 10 bail bondsmen because they cap how much you can get from each one. Okay. They're angry about it. Notice the things they defend. Just notice and watch the things that they defend. YouTube boosts these folks for a reason. Now, they'll bury this channel, but they'll boost these people for a reason. As far as they're concerned, sitting up here talking about they know your music. And, yo, and, hey, y'all rocking with, I'm rocking with y'all, you rocking with me. So they are very upset because this was supposed to be business as usual. Chud the Blunder done been in the jail and ain't been able to get out yet. He was hoping to be getting back on the streets and telling folks, see, I told you what would happen if y'all run up on me. I told you what we do to the chimps. And he's still sitting in jail. This ain't a good look. This doesn't make you look untouchable. See, that's what they were hoping it would be. These clowns out here like End of Subway, they were hoping that it would make him look, oh, he's untouchable. See, that's the way it goes, you know. You shouldn't have did that, you know, and that's just the way it is. Okay, him still sitting in jail. They're like, hey, you got him looking weak. You got him looking weak. He's supposed to be able to bounce right out. I mean, they've had Armenians try to jump up. And let's hear about your Armenian friends. They've had other folk, and the judge is like, okay, maybe if you get somebody domestic with $1 million, who's going to put $1 million up for him? Just, they got $1 million to just give. Okay. We're going to find out. But yeah, this is not going nearly as swimmingly. They thought they were going to have him bailed out by now. They have been talking. Remember, they were talking last week. Well, he'll probably be getting out. Then they found out, no, you ain't. He'll probably be getting out. Nope. Sitting right there. Damn, Judge, you still here? Why do they even bring his raggedy ass to the courtroom? Why do they even do that? Why do they even bring Dalton to the court? Doughboy Dalton. And that's another thing. These deficient individuals, it's always some fella. They're short, they're round, they're deficient, they're raggedy. It's not paragons of masculinity. These are the damn genetic rejects. Sexually confused and degenerate. This is what the hell, this is the vanguard of white supremacy today. Epstein Island, Tennessee edition. Damn! This is the vanguard of white supremacy now. It's Epstein Island, Nashville chapter. They're spuds, weirdos, round, deficient. I mean, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. This right here, this is the alpha male of white supremacy. Dirty. The brother got his shirt tucked in. This fella here looks like he just crawled from under a bridge. Like he sleeps under an overpass or he sleeps under his truck, one of the others. Yeah, it ain't working for him. It's not working. And so that's why when you saw his little soul get destroyed, oh, this hurts even more because there's another white woman sitting up here saying, and he was in the wrong. Man, these white women out of pocket and out of line.
And deal with it.
Okay, as far as these white supremacist males are concerned, all you white women, I got white women who listen to the program, shout out to y'all. They saying y'all out of line. They said y'all are completely out of line. They done it. They done had it. You got them all out here like incels. You got them all out here like Better Bachelor. I mean, they're balding. They're round. They're. Can't I just get a good white girl? Why can't I just have that? Because the brothers are kind of staked out. You know, she busy right now, bro. Where the white? Why is it the white women? Where are they at? She busy, bro. Can't you see? Can't you see you holding her up from where she really want to be at? That she's, hey, you holding us up. Get on back in your truck. You can't tell she busy? I know, just hold, keep you cool now. Keep you cool, but if you want to know where she at, she busy right now. She busy. She ain't got time for you. All right. Only thing you can do for her is tell her where the brother's at. Just point her in that direction. You can do that. Okay, so I just wanted the white women to know they like y'all is completely out of line. We have had it. We have had it with you white women making the wrong damn decisions. We have had it. You take a look at his pickup truck, everything is dirty, everything is raggedy. He's like, I got a system, a whole system that's rigged for me to win, and I'm still losing. I mean losing big. He's got a whole system behind him, engineered from birth to give him preferential treatment. And this is the way it went down? He's like, I'll be damned. What the hell? So this is why I'm warning you all. I'm warning you all about that. When whiteness don't work out for him, oh, that's the response right there. And I've warned you, the white supremacists are most dangerous to other white people. Folks, the reason why white supremacy must be stopped and stamped out is because white supremacists have killed far more white people than almost anyone else. Almost. They are a bigger threat to other white people. If you don't go along with the program, then they just self-destruct. And they look for the first white folk they can gun down because they have proximity to you. White supremacists are terrorists. They're nothing to play with. They do not represent civilized man in any capacity or in any facsimile. They are the uncivilized beasts. So white supremacy is a threat to everyone. And that's why in this instance, this was a textbook example of everything I've told you. He was sitting there in front of a black man. If he wanted to try something, if he wanted to kick the race war off, it was right there. Which is why I told you forever, if he wanted to kick it off, it's right there. That wasn't what it's supposed to be. He waits till she shows up and okay, let me go ahead and see if I can do that instead. So he knew what he was doing. Now I need a prosecutor to show this picture right here and tell me how in the hell you gonna let him out before 20 years. So to all the white women out there, I want you to understand you are in danger. You can sit up here and defend these folks all you want to. I warned you when Trump got out. First of all, I warned you after George Zimmerman. I warned all of you after George Zimmerman that was just the beginning. You are empowering them. They are not going to let you go. You think you're empowering them to attack us. What you're really doing is empowering them to re-enslave you. And they're going to get back around to that. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. Oh yeah, one more thing, y'all. Did you notice since the NTSB released that report about the collision between that Black Hawk helicopter and that jet plane coming in at Reagan Airport over the Potomac after Trump got in office? Do you notice that Tucker, the white supremacist sucker, Carlson, and the rest of their MAGA morons, y'all notice they ain't said nothing about that. Now, in the first early days, they were all big to talk about, oh, it's DEI and folks are unqualified. Now that the NTSB has released all the information to say, I covered this, well, it was a faulty altimeter. The altimeter in the Black Hawk was faulty, and her trainer was sitting there looking at it the whole time and didn't realize it. Because the next question, wait a minute, why didn't the trainer realize that they were not at the right height? You all notice they're not saying anything else. Hey, how about the Air Canada flight that ran into the emergency vehicle at LaGuardia Airport? You notice the white supremacists ain't saying nothing else about that either. And I checked their asses at the very beginning. They tried to get that one started. You notice they haven't said a word about that one either. Once we started showing, by the way, here are the pilots. Well, then it was the truck. First they tried to say it was the plane. Then they said, well, it was the truck. Then I said, I checked the folks in the truck. You don't want to do that one either. Did you notice that they stopped talking? Now they're just not saying anything. Now, how can that be? If these are actual honest brokers, if they really have the facts and information on their side, if facts don't care about your feelings, you know what? I agree with that completely. We brought the facts and now they're quiet. Now, how is it that in the early days they were all talkative? Now we're like, hey, the report's been released and nothing else to say? Shouldn't the report be telling them about all these unqualified people? Shouldn't they be coming back around to remind us about that? See, when you're going down in defeat, you start getting really desperate. Now, to make matters worse, to add insult to injury, you're sitting there living in Tennessee and you're sitting there telling yourself, you know, it used to be the law that we could hang a white woman if she was with one of you niggers. Now you have to sit there in traffic with a white woman coming to punk you out. I mean, she got out the car so she could tell you what was going on. All I can say is, look here, you dirty Cro-Magnon bastard. You are lucky. Oh, you are lucky. You are so damn fortunate that of all the black folk that you could have tried that bull jive with, in Tennessee that you found the only one wasn't gonna give you what you had coming. Oh, you were lucky. This breaks my heart to see this picture right here. This picture right here break my heart. Brother, you got the gun pointed in the wrong direction.
And deal with it.
The brother got the gun pointed in the wrong damn direction. If you were a police officer, buck 'em down, buck 'em down. Are y'all kidding me? If you were a police officer, it'd be buck 'em down, buck 'em down. Oh, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I ain't gonna say do 'em like All-Star JR.
Damn!
I'm not gonna say you should do 'em like All-Star JR for those of y'all who know. Jason, are you going there with it? Nigga, I'm going all the way. For those of you familiar with the All-Star JR situation, might have to teach this fella a brand new dance in the middle of that street. Jason, you going there with it? All-Star JR said, you run up on him, we gonna teach you a new dance. We gonna teach you a new dance. For those of you who don't know, I'll let you go look that up on your own time. But for those of you who know, yeah, All-Star JR said, we gonna teach you a new boogie. All right. Kick the beat in. Jason, it's like that. It's like that. Kick the beat in. We gonna teach this fella a new dance. We gonna teach him a brand new boogie in the middle of this damn street. And I ain't talking about Tory Lanez. So, y'all, for those of you who know about All-Star JR, oh yeah, Jason on top of it, they'll teach you this new boogie. Okay. Okay. He's lucky he found a fella who don't listen to All-Star JR. That's what I'm telling you. He's lucky he found the one fella who don't listen to All-Star JR. He damn lucky. Because this is simple math. However, you might disagree. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and open up the link to the Zoom here in the chat room. We're going to go ahead and open that up for you here so that you can have your opportunity to speak in and weigh in on this. You all can let us know where you stand on this. Is Karmelo Anthony being railroaded? Is the judge and the prosecutor railroading Karmelo Anthony, folks? What do you see? What do you get? What is it? Let me know. Let me know. You can go ahead and give us a call up for that and let your thoughts be known on it. Not a problem. Not a problem here. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to my man, Mr. Cochran. Appreciate that. Here to Karen as well here. Thank you very much for your support tonight. Here, sister, to Ambrosia. Nancy King, not guilty. Thank you, Third Eye Open. Thank you as well, Prince Raldi. My man, Mr. Richburg, Cyberdyne, and everybody else here who's contributed for tonight's program. Thank you very much for your support here, brothers and sisters. We appreciate that here as well. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. Folks are jumping on the Zoom here now, so I suggest you all go ahead and get in where you fit in. We're going to be talking about this and more. This is the Black Channel.
Be the teacher, knowledge on the block. Got the kids learning minds open like a lock. books and skills from the east to the west. Bringing education, yeah, we're simply the best. Classes on fire, brains burning with desire. Innovation driving like a tire through the mire. Math, science, history, we got the whole range. Kids hitting new heights, teachers making a change. Used to be the teacher, stacking up the grades. Future bright shining, no need for no shades. Got the youth thriving, moving up the ladder. Smart and sharp, brains growing fatter. Lessons so lit, yeah, they stay in a blaze. Every mind sharp like a sword in the haze. Mr. B in the house breaking knowledge chains. Education kingpin, we repping the gains. Used to be the teacher.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening as we are discussing about the Karmelo Anthony case here. The trial has begun, and a lot of folks are suspecting that this judge and the prosecutor are colluding together and demonstrating exactly the racism that they've been facing the entire time. That their goal is to institute a lynching, and that they are going to be doing that blatant in the open, because the whole point here is to demonstrate that this is a sundown town, a sundown area in a sundown state, and that white supremacy will fly unfettered, and that's the entire point of it. You are not getting the whole story from the media because they do not want to have that. If this thing had been televised, it would be a whole different thing. If the event had been televised, it would be totally different, which is why they want to have secret trials. They want to have secret trials because that is the best way for you to institute injustice. If you're going to have a lynching, you certainly don't want folks to sit there and see the whole thing. So we don't want to have that. See, that's what backfired with Kyle Rittenhouse. Everybody being able to see what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, you did it so damn blatant and so damn in the open, that doesn't work. So what they realize is, you didn't get everybody on your damn side. You really blew it up in your faces. I mean, the psycho white supremacists on Fox News, they'll go for it, but everybody else is not going to happen. Not going to occur. Let's go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. I got folks filling up over here on my Zoom for me here. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that here right quick. Let me go ahead and see if we can get Blanco up here on Zoom for me. See if we can get Blanco up here on Zoom. I'm waiting for them to get connected. Let me see where you at, Blanco. All right, there you go. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, what's up, Jason? Great broadcast, man. I mean, you're nailing it. So this entire case, it's reminding me of that of the tweets that were going around where Japanese people and just people in general, they were afraid of black people because they reminded them of Viltrumites and how they always want to characterize black people as Piccolo and as the Namekians and whatnot. And it's so interesting that there's this weird fantasy, like you're talking about with 1090 Jakes and Pancake Jakes, about how there's this weird fantasy of being overpowered by even one or even a group of black people that, for all intents and purposes, these kids ran up on this random, track and field kid. These were two football kids that ran up on a track and field kid. and then he did his self-defense thing, whatever. They're so obsessed with making, even rest in peace to Tamir Rice, even a 6-year-old kid, a 12-year-old kid, a 14-year-old kid be this like 17'9", huge, crazy monster that, yes, it's a shame that a life was lost.
Well, I mean, remember with George, they told you that if your kid is taller than them, then we can shoot them dead in the streets. They can be unarmed, and the fact that you're taller, he's afraid for his life. So with George Zimmerman didn't have a mark on him. He didn't have a scratch on him. And the white supremacists in society still said that justified shooting Trayvon Martin dead. Now, this happens in Texas, and none of those folk are coming to make the same argument. Where are they to make the exact same argument here? This boy did not show up like that for no reason. He already knew who they were. They had already been going at him. That had already been happening. They already been saying what the school wasn't doing. So it was very clear what was going on there. So very interesting. The same people who said you can kill the black kids are way bigger. Oh, look at this grown man at 15 years old. He's a grown man. And oh, look at how tall he is. Okay, well, great. Now he's the little person. You're still the threat. So it doesn't matter which side you're on. All they really want to know is, okay, was a black person involved? Yes. And was he the victim? Yes. All right, we'll back it. Don't worry. Show me the man and I'll show you the crime. I'll let you have the last word.
Well, hey, man, like you just said it right here with this last video. The guy, road rage Randy came up and tried to shoot the guy and try to fight the guy, and he still got his weapon taken away, but they're probably still going to reduce it to, and aggravate it. No, dude, you had the intention of killing someone who was in your mind a monster and whatnot. Keep the standard the same. I'm tired of these double standards, but you already know, man. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. We appreciate that. Yeah, man, y'all got to understand. These folk here, doesn't matter which side it is. All they want to know is, was a black person the victim and was a white person involved? If a black person's the victim, a white person's involved, they don't give a damn. Nothing else matters after that. Don't worry, we'll have your side. We got your back. You're striking a blow for the white supremacist establishment. So that's really the only thing they need to see. That's really the only thing they need to see. And so just understand, optics ain't good, y'all. Optics are not good. Chud the Blunder in jail. This white man in Tennessee getting disarmed in the middle of damn meat traffic after assaulting a white woman. If Karmelo Anthony is able to be found rightfully not guilty, don't understand something. It's like, oh, hell, we're on a roll in the wrong direction. Not only are we on a roll as white supremacists, we're on a roll in the wrong direction. It's not white supremacy if you cannot commit murder, assault, violation of other people's rights, of black people's rights with impunity. It's not white supremacy if that's not the nation you're in. It doesn't work and it doesn't qualify. So recognize if things go a certain way, they're going to be upset about it. Let's go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom. We got Brother Elijah over here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Brother Elijah?
Hey, good evening, big brother. I got two questions in one sentence, okay? In this sentence, I got this question for the brother, the young brother Karmelo Anthony. Who is his defense attorney, and why, when a situation like this occurred, didn't his defense attorney call for a special prosecutor?
Okay, well, like I say, I mean, his attorney did object to this, so it's not like he was just sitting there in court playing on his iPhone. So okay. if people have the impression that was the case, that is not the case. That's why I brought you all the facts about this. His attorney did speak up about this. His attorney did speak up about it. The judge is siding with the prosecutor. And I called it from the very beginning about what I saw as the problem there. When the judge instituted the gag order, I think I can say this. I talked to Carmelo's dad earlier this week. Okay. So I've been in contact with him. That's all I can say. I can't say anything beyond that. We didn't discuss the court case because we can't discuss the court case. But I spoke to his dad early this week, so I know folks. I don't. There's only so much I can say as far as what I suspect. So right. I just want you all to understand there's a gag order and there's a bunch of really devious stuff going on down there right now. There's a lot of devious stuff that's going on, and I'm looking at getting you all more information about that. I'm trying to get it as quickly as I can. But no, it's a bunch of devious, underhanded stuff going on here. It's not one person. It is not one person, y'all. It's the system. Yes, it is the system at every turn, from the school district to 911. It's not just one thing. So they didn't jump up in court doing this because, it's just the judge or just the prosecutor. That is not what it is. I need you all to understand that. They're not doing this in a vacuum. Yes, They're not doing this in a vacuum. It isn't just one entity or one place. That is not what it is at all. So I don't believe in just giving hearsay on things. So there's some information. I'm trying to get specific information. For me, it needs to be documentation because I need to show you all. Once I have that, you all are going to see differently. But like I say, I mean, the lawyer on this point here, because I understand what folks be thinking. On this point here, it wasn't like he was just sitting there saying nothing. He did object to it. He did say, hey, these are the only black jurors. And the judge is like, oh, well, here we go. So, I mean, it's not like you can declare for a mistrial and who you get it from, this judge. So that's kind of where you are right now.
Brother, this is...
and by the way, if they had a different prosecutor, who's going to pick it? Governor Abbott?
Oh, shoot.
I mean,
okay, there you go.
Attorney General, who's Attorney General of Texas? Ken Paxton? You mean the guy that Trump just endorsed?
Endorsed, yeah.
You know, you that fella there, him? You mean him? Okay, all right. So, brother, I mean, where you going? Where you going? Who you calling? That's what they. If you ever saw that movie To Kill a Time to Kill. You saw what the judge was saying up in there. Like, who you calling? You want another judge? I play golf with him this Sunday. I'll tell him you're calling. So this where we at. This is where we at with it.
Wow, big brother. This I gotta say this before this slips my mind with this whole situation and this young brother. What do you think will come next? If since they I can already see the railroading happening, all right. The best way, I'll say this, the best way they can, and when it's not the best for us. I'm very clear in my words. Do you really believe they're gonna now delegitimize their system? Because they especially Texas of all places, who prize themselves on self-defense, the castle doctrine, and everything like that. Do you think they're going to really go to the wall to delegitimize their own system? And then once they do that, okay, God forbid if they find this brother guilty, what comes next after? Because I can seriously see them brothers and sisters about to tear that city down. Excuse me. I'll just say that.
Well, in this case, no, that wouldn't be the case because this is a different place out there. Okay. The Dallas Metroplex blew up, over the last 30 years.
Yes, sir.
So, but a lot of folks, I mean, that's really just like a suburban area out there in Frisco and whatnot. It's not really heavy like that for us. So there's a reason why that's the case. So you have some folks who want to raise their children in certain neighborhoods and things like that. And like Carmelo's captain of the track team or whatever. So it's not like he was just hanging out in school, with his feet on the table, getting suspended or something. That's not the case. Right. This idea we're going to be hazing on you and whatnot, we're going to be hazing your kids, that's really what you're seeing there in that regard. As far as the future, I want you to understand, the murder of Trayvon Martin was really a socio-political shifting of the winds, because you'll notice after that comes Ron DeSantis. So just keep that in mind. And then what happens? Ron DeSantis goes full white supremacist to sprint out the door and let's change the districts and sundown state and this, that, and the other. So keep that in mind. Remember during COVID, Ron DeSantis put up, they had a prohibition on people from Louisiana coming to Florida.
I remember.
Okay, that was a white supremacist tactic too. Because the real point about it is everybody knows on Interstate 10, that's really traffic coming out of Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Yes, sir.
So on Interstate 10, if you go west, you end up in Houston. If you go east, you end up in Florida.
Yes, sir.
Because you're going along the Gulf. You got to go on I-20 to go through Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
So to get to Florida, you're going to have to hit Interstate 10.
That
was what that was about. He wanted to make sure you didn't have a whole bunch of folk coming in from Louisiana because folks tend to go to Florida and stuff and tend to not leave. So the New Yorkers may be able to go to Florida and jump around. I'm not talking about snowbirds. They can go there. If they don't like it, they get them leave. Other folk end up going there and stuff, and they tend to stay. So he tipped his hand early that he was trying to do ethnic and racial cleansing and demographic defense. So he tipped his hand early. Texas is in danger of the same thing happening right now. They're in danger. Texas is in danger of the same thing. So that's why they're putting up so many walls and whatnot, because in reality, Texas is particularly vulnerable. Remember, Dallas has had a string of black mayors. So yes, Ron Kirk was not the only one. So Dallas has had a string of black mayors. So in reality, and Houston, y'all can get that straightened out really over a weekend. So when you're talking about your major metropolitan areas, that's really going to be Dallas, Houston, Austin. Yes, so these places are particularly vulnerable in that regard. It's particularly vulnerable. So what would you want to do? Just like in Florida, Trayvon Martin was a bellwether moment to reestablish white supremacy. After Botham Jean, you got cops going to jail in Texas. So they want to have a mascot to send the signal to everybody that white supremacy is back in charge.
Yes, sir.
So that was what the signal was with Trayvon Martin, is white supremacy is in charge. And this is their moment. I predict that they're going to attempt to try to make this the same type of moment with Karmelo Anthony. White supremacy is back in charge.
Yes, sir. And big brother, I'm going to say this and I'm going to land my plane because I got in front of this 4 years ago. I'm taking a quote from you. 4 years ago, a brother got killed. A black brother got killed in his car in Ohio. I forgot the city. And you said this on that July 4th when I was listening to you, that July 4th is canceled. As far as I'm concerned, as with this brother going on, Karmelo Anthony, the young brother out there in South Carolina, young poor brother in Cyprus who got murdered by that Asian bastard. All right, as far as I'm concerned, there is no such thing as the 250-year anniversary of this country. It is canceled. I'm not celebrating no Thanksgiving, no Labor Day, no Christmas. Everything is canceled. And on that note, I'm going to land my plane, big brother. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, I want you to understand, folks, the threat is real. The threat is real. That Chow fella out of South Carolina chased the boy for a football field and a half, shot him in the back, and still had a jury say, oh, well, that's legal. And all I'm saying is, okay, if that's the rules, then them the rules. I can chase some Chud the Builder. Can we chase him for a football field and a half and shoot him in the back? Is that what you all are saying? That those are the rules now? Well, all we're saying is you have to be consistent. If you say that Kyle Rittenhouse can shoot 3 unarmed people, he can have a gun, they can have no guns, he's okay to shoot them, okay, that's the new rule. If George Zimmerman can kill somebody because he's scared, that's the damn rule. Okay, Karmelo Anthony was scared. Case closed. And we're just saying you have to be consistent. They're saying, nope, we're white and we say so. So I want you all to know the threats are real. All right, let's go ahead and get to Melissa here on Zoom. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Microphone, lower left corner.
Yeah, it disappeared.
There you go.
All right. So I live here in Texas. What I've noticed, because I've been trying to pursue a case for myself, is that a lot of these attorneys that are prosecutors or, DA, they have affiliation with the Republicans. And also, we already know that they're hooded type of people already in these positions. So I did some research because I'm always trying to see who's going to represent the case, their background and everything like that. The judge is known from like 2016 to have impartial jurors on cases and not holding fair trials.
Yeah, this judge Roach is bogus.
Yes.
This dude is straight up
and
bogus.
Then the DA that is the lead DA that's up there in Collin County, he is also allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, there is some sexual harassment type of case against him and also the prosecutor. So they are the dirt of the dirt. We already know this. But if people understand and cry out and understand where these people come from, they're not going to fight fair. And that's why we need more lawyers that are not scared to push and interpret the law like how they do. We have to fight dirty just as they do. And it's sad that they are really trying to trying to send this baby away, and they're doing their damnedest to do it. And no cameras, selecting an all white jury, they better hold the same accountability towards the aggressor. I mean, I know he's passed, but the aggressor and all of those children that bullied this child, because I know that they bullied this child. I live in Texas. I hear it all the time in these high schools, and nobody does anything about it. So just like Rick Chow, they better hold the same type of defense case on this child, because it's the same story, but a different, it's us.
Yeah, it's not accidental. It's not accidental. His experience was not accidental. And it's a reminder to everybody, if you think Jim Crow is over, if you think antebellum slavery is over, you're just living in denial. That's all. You take a look at how this went together. When you hear about they got rid of all the black people on the jury, you thinking that's To Kill a Mockingbird. You thinking that's 1920. No, that's 2020. That's not your great grandparents' era. That's your era right here, right now, today. Ain't a damn thing changed. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, sister. We appreciate that. Let me see if I can get Cam up here on Zoom for me here. Yeah, folks, it's a century later, but literally nothing is altered. Nothing is altered. Nothing's different. Nothing's changed. It's all the same thing here. Okay, Cam, I don't see anything here on Zoom. I just got one of them weird earth backgrounds, so I can give you 5 seconds. Go ahead and turn those filters off for me. I can give you 3 seconds here. Go ahead and turn those filters off for me. I can give you 1 more second here. Go ahead and turn those filters off for me. All right, Cam, well, go ahead and join us on some other date. Folks, if you call up on Zoom, don't have any filters on those backgrounds and all that stuff. Don't do any of that. I just want everybody to make sure they're on Zoom so we don't have any trolling issues. That's all we're asking for here. You can express yourself. You can have your position. Just no trolling issues. All right, y'all. We got old Barrister up here on Zoom for us. Unmute yourself, Barrister.
Yeah, Jason, I mean, it's very you're being very disingenuous. Basically, you're not leaving out all the facts. Karmelo is guilty, and you know it.
Barrister, why are we not surprised that you would take that position?
I mean, you know it. I mean, you're a smart man, and I'm pretty sure you've watched the trial. You saw, the details. You're leaving out a whole bunch of details to your audience. They're just basing everything off of emotion. The facts are the facts. The young man killed Austin Metcalf. It was premeditated murder.
Okay, there's no proof of premeditated murder, sir.
Well, yes, there is. Actually,
no, sir. Actually, there isn't.
Well, can I speak?
Actually, there's not.
Six witnesses, 4 of them were black, said that Austin was the instigator. He was the one that was provoking everyone He was, I mean, basically, he was asked 15 times to leave the tent.
That Austin was the instigator. I agree with that. Austin was the instigator. Yes.
No, I apologize.
No. You're right the first time. No, actually, you're right the first time.
I misspoke. Karmelo was the instigator.
Okay, Karmelo was not the instigator. Nobody's arguing that in court.
Oh, he was. I mean,
okay, let me try this again. Just like with George Floyd, Derek Chavin's defense attorneys didn't try to argue these things in federal court when they went there. Nobody's arguing what you're saying right now. So you're making this up. Why are they not arguing it?
Prosecution rested their case real quick. 6 witnesses, 4 of them were black, said that Karmelo was the main instigator. And when they asked him to leave, this is what came out of his mouth.
Okay, tell us exactly what the instigation was.
When he said, quote, "Make me, and you'll see what happens." That's premeditation.
Okay, that's not instigation,
that is
sir.
Premeditation, man. That is.
Okay, are you trying to tell us that was what was testified in court?
Yes.
Okay, how do you know that?
One of the witnesses stated that that's what he said. That
where did you get that information from?
Court transcripts.
You can't court transcripts.
Basically, that's what was told. One of the witnesses stated that.
Barrister, if you start lying on my phone, if you start lying up here, that's trolling.
Not trolling at all, but
there are no court transcripts. What you just said is a lie.
Okay, basically from the media, I heard.
You heard that from no media.
Yes, I did.
Cite your source. Cite your source.
Well, I can't cite it right now, but one of
the I can tell you my source for the things I'm saying. You can't tell us any of yours.
Definitely 6 witnesses. 4 of them were black.
There's no proof that they said what you're saying.
Well, 4 of them, all of them said that Karmelo.
That's why I'm asking you where you got that information, because the trial is not televised, so you couldn't have heard it from TV. So yes, where did you?
Numerous
the trial was not televised.
Numerous news sources stated that all of them, all 6
name 2.
CBS News.
CBS News said that.
Yes.
When did they say that?
Just Google is your friend. Use Google. But at the end of the day, I mean, the prosecution rested their case, and
you are trolling, barrister.
How am I trolling?
I do not appreciate that.
How am I trolling?
You are lying. There were no news sources. There were no news sources that said this.
There are numerous news sources, Fox News, numerous lawyers, people who are in that courtroom.
Nobody said that.
And the other thing about, you're just trying to race bait and make this a whole race issue, though. This has nothing to do about race. This is about a degenerate young man who has issues, who brought a knife to a tent and killed another young man.
So you're lying on you're lying on a 17-year-old kid.
I'm not lying. This is not a good kid. Something's wrong with him. And again,
Nigeria's finest, brothers and sisters. Nigeria's finest.
What do you mean? I'm just stating that he will be convicted of murder.
Okay, so tell us about the previous bullying that Austin and his brother were doing to Karmelo leading up to that.
There's no previous bullying. They went to a different school. There was no previous bullying.
Sir,
this was the first time that they met.
Are you trying to tell everyone this is the first time that he ever encountered them?
Absolutely.
Where did you hear that?
Bottom line, this was the first time that they encountered each other. He was not being bullied by both of them. Okay.
All right.
And the other thing I also want to point out is that in regards to the Rick Chow incident, you're also leaving out the fact that his son, Andy, he chased him. And when he tripped.
How far did he chase him?
Oh, well over 100 yards. I'm not sure how far.
Okay. How far is a football field?
100 yards. But
do you think you could run 100 yards?
What you said?
Do you think you could run 100 yards?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you know how far that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you still in danger after 100 yards?
The bottom line is that Andy.
Why didn't they? Okay, sir. If Carmelo's a killer, why did Chow not let the boy run? He ran 100 yards. How far does he have to run?
The bottom line is
okay. Why didn't he let him go after 100 yards, sir? How far does he have to run?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should have just let him go. But in any case, when he pulled out a gun, there's
no proof of that.
And there's no, again, and due to the fact that there's no video evidence, there's doubt though.
There's no proof that he pulled out a gun.
There has to be beyond a reasonable doubt.
There's no proof that he produced a gun. There's no proof of that. As a matter of fact, the evidence was seen to suggest that they rifled through his bag and that they came across a gun in his bag, but that at no time did that actually occur. Also, even if you want to believe that, he was shot in the back, sir.
Again,
so you're going to tell us that he was a threat. He
was a threat. He had a gun.
So he got shot
if he didn't have a gun, it was a clear cut.
So he got shot in the back, and he's still a threat.
As the black defensive attorney who defended Rick Childs pointed out, is he
one of your people? Is he one of your people or one of our people?
No, he's clearly FBA.
Okay, well, you just kind of stripped on yourself.
Those are the type of black men that you should be admiring. That is a smart defense attorney. These are the type of black men in this world that you should be adoring instead of these thugs and hypocrites like Karmelo Anthony and unfortunately that young.
Okay, sir, what do you know about Austin Metcalf's family?
I know that unfortunately he just went the wrong way.
Okay, let me try again. What do you know about Austin Metcalf's family?
It appears that he came from a good household, but
do you know about his record in school?
Did you know that he got suspended for bringing a knife?
Okay, Austin Metcalf. Do you know about Austin Metcalf's record in school?
Oh, you said Austin Metcalf, not Karmelo Anthony.
Yeah, clean the wax out the coon ears.
I don't know that much about Austin Metcalf.
Oh, okay, so you're not aware of his school record.
Who cares about his bullying? Okay. Just because he bullies kids, that means he deserves to get killed? Come on, man.
Okay, if he likes to bully people and has a record of doing it, he's over 6 feet tall, over 225 pounds. So
and a proportional, and basically he deserves to just be a
no, sir. What I'm saying is that you are defending a person who has a record of being a threat.
Yeah, that doesn't justify him being stabbed.
Okay, what Karmelo was telling you, hey, this record y'all talking about, yeah, the record came looking for me.
And the witnesses said that Austin was not bullying him. All he said was just to tell him to leave. That's all he said.
Okay, you do know there's video, right?
There's video, and the video contradicts what you're saying.
Okay, how do you know that?
Because all over the media, the jurors saw the video.
Okay, sir, how do you know that? You haven't seen the video.
I haven't seen the video, but I've read numerous.
Resources. But you haven't. So you just immediately popped off in the mouth saying what the video does, and you haven't even seen it.
Numerous news.
So how many lies? How many lies have I caught this fella in so far?
He wasn't a threat. He was not. His life was not in danger.
Basically. Okay, define life not in danger.
He wasn't being surrounded by a bunch of other white teenagers. You're making it a race issue. The boy brought a knife to a tent. Why did he have a knife in his book bag?
Sir, why is that relevant?
That is very relevant, though.
No, sir.
The young boy was looking for trouble.
Sir. Kyle Rittenhouse set the precedent that is not unreasonable.
Kyle Rittenhouse, he was being attacked.
Okay, and Karmelo Anthony was being attacked.
Karmelo Anthony was not being punched or viciously attacked.
Sir, first you said, why does he have a weapon? Now I debunked that. So you're not trying to attack the weapon anymore. Kyle Rittenhouse set the precedent that you can have a weapon.
Basically, he was being viciously attacked.
Wait a minute. No. Back to the weapon thing, because you tried to sit up here and prohibit having a weapon.
No reason.
Okay, Kyle Rittenhouse substantiated that you can have a weapon.
There was no reason for him to bring a knife to attract me.
Okay.
The bottom line
Kyle Rittenhouse substantiated and proved that you do.
You're comparing apples and a fire truck.
You're tether stuttering. No. You're tether stuttering right now. No.
You are comparing apples and a fire truck. It's a completely different case.
Okay, Kyle Rittenhouse had the right to have an illegal weapon. Kyle Rittenhouse had the right to have an illegal weapon, and the court defended his right to have it.
because he was being viciously attacked.
And so was First of all, there's no evidence. First of all, there is no evidence. There is no evidence. Kyle Rittenhouse was not being viciously attacked. It's on video. It's on video.
It's a different. This is a different case, a different scenario.
It's on video. You're lying. That is on video.
You're lying. You're trying.
Kyle Rittenhouse is on video. Nobody was beating and punching him. He was
being chased, and they were about to attack him. So
the soft cotton candy boy was afraid he was going to get hit. Nobody did that.
And basically,
it's on video.
And
just like George Zimmerman. Just like George Zimmerman, there wasn't a mark on him.
And in this specific scenario, Karmelo was not in fear of his life. He was the main.
Okay, no, whoa. You don't get to decide if he was in fear of his life. George Zimmerman, sir, I am citing George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman, if Karmelo Anthony feels afraid enough, he is in fear of his life. You don't have to put a finger on him. Remember George Zimmerman. He just has to be afraid. You cannot decide how afraid he is. George Zimmerman, remember?
That's a long time ago, but again, you're just.
That's a long time ago.
These cases.
Okay, Barrister, let's find something that we can actually substantiate. Okay. Now, the American Border Patrol put up a notice earlier this week warning everybody about bushmeat coming into the country. On June 3rd, I got it on the screen so everybody can see it here. They put up a notice: when traveling into the U.S., please note that bushmeat is prohibited to bring into the country. Before you come back from your trip abroad, check Border Patrol's restricted items list about the items you plan to bring back. So, Barrister, can we discuss about the bushmeat trade?
Why are you trying to change the subject? This has
okay. Since we're having a disagreement about since we're having a disagreement about what I'm saying is since we can't agree about illegal weapons, can we agree about illegal bushmeat? Can we agree about that?
I'm not too familiar about this.
You're not familiar with this fine Lagos cuisine?
What? No, I'm not.
You're not familiar with this fine rural.
When he gets convicted, would you be able?
This rural Nigerian cuisine? You don't know anything about that. All of a sudden, you're unaware of that.
Okay. All right, have a good one.
Okay, I heard it goes good with tamale sauce. I heard it goes good with Tabasco sauce, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way to go with it. All right, Barrister, I thought, folks, you're okay till you start trolling. So I warned him in advance there. It's like, okay, dude, now you're kind of trolling. Let's not do that. We're going to keep trolling. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, y'all, well, I'm just saying this. Since we can't agree on illegal weapons, since we are unable to agree on illegal weapons, then can we agree on illegal bushmeat? Can we do that? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, well, the Border Patrol wants y'all to know that, by the way, hey, cut it out with the damn bushmeat. Stop it. This was this week, y'all. June 3rd. So, this is June 3rd this week. So, yeah, the Border Patrol said, hey, cut it out with the bushmeat. Damn it. Knock it off. So they're having a bushmeat. There's going to be a bushmeat shortage, y'all. There's going to be a bushmeat shortage. So you better watch your cats. What? There's going to be a bushmeat shortage. So anybody, you got your pit bulls running around. If you got a pet rabbit, y'all better watch his little ass, because it's about to be a bushmeat shortage. So, yeah, some of y'all is, your favorite cat, Mittens, y'all better put one of them little geotags on his ass. All of y'all folks let your cats run around the damn yard and whatnot. You better put an Apple Air tag on his ass, because, yeah, the bushmeat shortage is about to hit. The bushmeat shortage about to hit. They talking about, hey, what do y'all think them folks is doing in them in the manholes in New York? You heard about that story? This folks climbing in the damn manholes in New York. Then you hear about the bushmeat shortage. Okay, man, it's real. It's real. Yeah, it's gonna be some funny looking niggas hopping over your damn fence. You used to have a dog and some pets, and you ain't got nothing when you wake up the next morning. It's yard empty. So yes, gas prices out of control, beef price. Y'all, I haven't been able to find any extra lean ground beef.
Nigga, what?
Oh man, I've had to get ground turkey. The extra lean ground beef been gone for weeks. Then I'm seeing this damn bushmeat on the screen. What? I'm like, okay, so it's rough on everybody right now. Extra lean ground beef, extra lean bushmeat. This man, look here. We all gonna be eating eggs before it's over. We all gonna be eating eggs. They didn't have no pork neither. It's the pork, they pulling back on that. Okay, ain't nothing safe out here. Nothing. Do y'all want a bunch of ravenous bushmeat eaters roaming the streets?
Nigga, what?
Hey, man. Niggas gonna be sitting at red lights with their arm hanging out the window and this nigga come up biting on it like the movie Ravenous. He was licking me. Okay, hey, y'all better have your windows up at these red lights like that movie World War Z. You see, I ain't bothering nobody. Like the beginning scene of the movie with the motorcycle cop outside the window. Bush me. You can see it in his eyes like, oh, that nigga ain't had none of this. All right. Yeah, like the movie 28 Days Later. We all gonna be shopping at Costco. That's where we gonna be. All right, let's jump back over here on this Zoom. Hi, folks. I'm through with that. Let me go ahead and get back over here on Zoom right quick. Let me get OGK Network. OGK, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I want to be a little hypothetical in this situation because the trial's just beginning, basically. We live in a judicial system of common case law. I was wondering, for the state of Texas, let's say, for instance, they hypothetically, let's say they did convict Karmelo for murder, right? What would that do for the destiny of self-defense stand your ground for the state of Texas, per se, if they did that? If they had that case law.
I mean, the whole point here is that you are living in a system of white supremacy, which means a two-tier court system. I don't dare call it a justice system. So you have a two-tier court system. So this is not about the law of self-defense. It's about the law of white supremacy. So this is a reminder that if you were under the mistaken impression that To Kill a Mockingbird was your great-grandparents' issue, and that ain't you, and we're in post-racial America because Barack Obama can dance the Dougie, this is a reminder to you of where you really are. So that's what it is.
So basically what you're saying is they'll just have this case on their books. Because understand this is.
Well, remember, you're under the law of I'm white and I say so. So there's the whole thing, brother. You can cite statutes. You can break open Black's Law Dictionary. You can cite all the Texas statutes you want to. But the bottom line is, in that courtroom, the judge is like, oh, I'm the law here. Remember, that was what Judge Schrader said with Kyle Rittenhouse. Remember? The law is what I say it is here. He said that in front of everybody. I followed the case. For those of you who don't remember, I covered the whole damn case. He said the law is not whatever you think it is or whatever you look up the statute. The law is whatever I interpret it to be. He literally said those words in that courtroom to the attorneys. Now, I don't know how good or bad a prosecuting attorney the prosecutor was in that case necessarily. What I do know is that I don't need to hear anything else after I hear a judge say something like that. I don't need to hear anything else. He literally sat in there and said, the law is not whatever you read it or how you read it. It's how I'm the interpreter of what the law is in this courtroom. There you go. There you go. And so that was with cameras rolling in Texas. I mean, in Ohio. You ain't even got that here. You don't even have that here. So right now, I'm just letting you all know, I knew it was up when the judge talked about the gag order. Without you all knowing what I know, this was a very sweeping, in my opinion, oppressive and comprehensive order in how it's been executed. So I will just say that maybe at a later date, maybe I can get into some details. Right now, I can't say anything. But I will say that based on, I want you all to understand, when I saw that happen, that really was all, that right there did it. When I saw that, there? I knew what was going to go on.
You're down there?
Okay, let me go ahead and get over here on the thing here. Details I don't discuss. Details I don't discuss. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom right quick. Let me see if I can get iPhone up here on Zoom. I'll give you a couple of more minutes here. iPhone, I can give you 5 seconds. Then we got to move on. iPhone, make sure you have your camera microphone turned on. I can give you 3 more seconds. Then we got to move on. All right, iPhone, I can give you 1 more second here. Then we got to move on. Okay, iPhone has been abducted. Let's go ahead and see if we can get Camille up here on Zoom for me here right quick. There you go, Camille. All right, Camille, what's on your mind? Okay, get closer to your phone, Camille.
Jason, how are you?
All right, your audio's really going in and out on you. Not really sure why.
I'll take it to a quieter area.
Okay, we'll see if that helps.
How are you?
All right, what's on your mind, Camille?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I live in Frisco now. I live in Frisco. I cut the phone off. So I'm out here. I'm like 10 minutes from the courthouse in McKinney. And I'm wondering, what can I do? What can I do to help?
Well, right now the trial is going on. So definitely those of us talking about it and making sure that we let everybody know that we're watching it. So that's the most important thing. But the trial's going on right now. So the most thing we can do is be studious about it. It really matters what happens afterward, depending on what goes on there. So it doesn't look like it's going to be long. I mean, they were scheduling for it to be like 2 weeks, which that bothered me also. I haven't liked a whole lot among what happened here. I haven't liked a whole lot here. So that, like I say, without me saying too much, I haven't liked a whole lot I've seen from the beginning. I didn't like the fact that the jury selection part was like 1 day for a trial like this. That 1 day, I'm hearing about it. Oh, trial starts on Wednesday. We're going to have jurors picked on Thursday and have opening arguments on Friday. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
They hit it from like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that's where it was. And I was like, oh my God, everyone's out there. They have white supremacists out there. McKinney is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from me. I live in Plano. I moved from Bay Area to out here, and I was just disgusted with it last year. I heard about it. They had an NDA order on everyone, like no one can talk about it. And I always kept wondering. I was like, well, what are we going to do? But I had called in before and talked to you and was like, what can I do? Because I have a kid. He's 5'6". He has 12 and a half shoe size. He plays basketball out here. And I'm just like, let that happen to you. I'm bombing everything in this motherfucker. I'm from California. We don't get down like this. So anyhow, I just wondered what I can do. I'm proficient. I volunteer at the school. They know me. I'm in Plano school district and stuff like that. So I'm just like, what can I do?
Well, I will tell you one thing in particular. There have been some information gaps because I will just say this part. It's been some information gaps because you're dealing with minors. So a lot of information that ordinarily we'd probably be able to report on or whatever has been restricted. So that's what I'm talking about. And that's just one thing. For example, that the school district and stuff, when we talk about these things, there's details out there. And of course, you can't count on the corporate media. And then you got coons like Barrister running around flapping their gums. So there's a lot of details. Everybody and their mama is talking about Karmelo. And it's like, okay, there's a lot of details about the alleged.
We keep forgetting to say that it's raining. We have thunderstorms out here. Like, well, it'll just like all of a sudden it's raining and there's a thunderstorm. So people are going to want to take shelter. So when they said he took shelter, originally underneath the tent.
Well, remember that word wasn't regularly used though.
On Legacy News, they're not telling you.
Well, that word wasn't regularly used though, because you're using the word take shelter. But remember, that phrase has not been regularly used. That one detail you're talking about right there, that's not something that has been used in common discourse. Most of these outlets are doing the full white supremacist thing and just saying that basically Karmelo was sitting under their tent and they politely asked him to leave, and then he said, y'all ain't gonna leave nothing, I'm chopping all y'all niggas down. So that's basically what they're reporting.
Another thing that they said is that he was talking reckless or ruthless and stuff like that, and then he incited them to touch him. I said, oh my God, that's how they doing it? So that kind of stuff I'm realizing that they do, because I'm coming from California where it's like racism, of course, like everywhere, but it's like more covert, and then here it's blatant. So I'm having a contrast that's like real and direct with me. Like,
well, I appreciate that more. I'm born and raised in Louisiana, which puts Texas to shame. And what I'm saying is I appreciate honest white supremacists, and as opposed to a Gavin Newsom or the rest of them out there and whatnot. So I can appreciate them being straight up. At least you can see exactly what it is, which makes it easier to identify and recognize, which makes it at least easier to get people to see it so they can fight it. But in this case, no, ma'am. It's been a bunch of details been left. We haven't had the citizen journalism thing going like it's supposed to, because we've met a bunch of obstacles. You have a judge who put on the gag order, and then you have a school district, and beyond that, to be totally honest, with the police department who've been running interference. They don't want any information to get out about this. The only person that they're putting information out about is Karmelo, and they're blocking any information getting out about the Metcalfs. And there is a story and details in there that matter, that really, really does.
Case too. Everybody check that out. They had a CPS case. They're like, what I noticed when I came out here is like a lot of the white people are not like people that I know from California. Like in California, they don't want to be black. White people don't want to be black. Out here, the white people want to be black, but only when it's fail, cry, say, oh no, we're not doing it. We don't want to be associated with that. So it's a contrast that I've noticed in my 11 months of being here. But they can get away with anything out here. These white people, if anybody comes to the South and they have kids, make sure you go everywhere with your kids. Don't let them be alone, because you never know if this will happen.
Yeah, I mean, the Dallas Metroplex, I keep reminding people, is blown up over the last 30 years. So I was there when Plano was nothing but a sleepy bedroom community. They had just started building those suburban developments out there. Everybody worked in Dallas, but they wanted to live up there in Plano. So all these other areas being built out, that's a recent advent. What I'm saying is that, relatively speaking, all this stuff is new. So clean streets, newer schools, shiny neighborhoods, all this stuff, Trophy Club and all that, that's all great and wonderful. But just like in the 60s, it deceives a lot of folk into thinking if you can get a mortgage, finally I made it and everything's clear. And I'm like, that is not the neighborhood you're moving into. That's the issue.
It's your zip code. I was going to say also a deceptive tactic is the zip code, because we live in a cool little zip code, but our schools don't get a lot of the funding. So I'm taking my kids over to McKinney on the other side. We're like a dash away from McKinney. So we're going right to McKinney. They're going to be over there. My son's going to be in junior high. My daughter's going to be over there. I have two younger ones. I have an older 26-year-old. She was in the military. That's what brought us out here. Long story short is, you got to know when you come to the South, it ain't, it's still racism. You have to just adjust and know it's a different type of racism.
Well, I would actually recommend to everybody be on the same time, no matter where you are. There is nowhere that's safe. And the idea that, oh, it's better if it's more blatant. No, I mean, you're not safe anywhere. I've been to California, and I've been to California several times. And let me tell you, Interstate 10, driving across the desert, anything can happen to you there. I'm in downtown Los Angeles, and I'm taking a look at what some of the Latino police officers and whatnot. And I've been by the Ramparts division out there. I drove by that straight out of downtown Los Angeles. So I've seen what they do there. It's not safe for nobody. I don't care where you're at. It's not safe.
I'm the daughter, and I completely concur with what you're saying. If it's not blatant, it's going to be something else, and it's a slap in the face, regardless. Any state, it's unacceptable. It's systematic, it's physical, it's mental, psychological. They're hitting so many ways. It's giving Satan working overtime, I must say. So I concur with what you're saying, sir.
Yeah, everything is about lulling people into a false sense of security and getting you to drop your guard. And if you can shop without getting pulled over by the police, oh, everything's fine. And in reality, that just lulls you into a false sense of security. I would rather have a situation where we're on high alert. I actually prefer this. So everybody got to be on high alert. Everybody got to keep their head on swivel. Yeah, I'd rather have this situation here.
Right, and we're cute, so they try and give us a false deception. Like, it was this little white lady that was helping my daughter load up her cart. My little baby daughter, go get her, girl. They were like, "Oh, we can help her," and this. And I was just like, "Why does she need to help you?" So they do stuff like that. They try and pretendo. But no, yeah, we're 10 minutes away from the case. I don't know what I can do. I don't know if I should make food, bring stuff, but
well, right now, just keep your eyes and your ears open. When this thing is over, you're going to know what to do next. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Like I say, right now, that's why we got our eyes on it. The trial's probably going to be for another week here. Keep your eyes and ears open. And once again, folks, you all know I've always said that I want my white supremacy straight, no chaser. I don't want Negroes going around being lulled into false sense of security, wanting to go to sleep again, because that's what happened in the 1960s. Just as soon as they let the pressure up on your neck a little bit, folks get very desirous to go back to sleep again. I'm like, oh, hell no. Keep the pressure on, keep the heat on, keep your masks up. I want you to be who you are all day, every day. Stop the charade, stop the sham, stop the scamming. Don't sit up here and put on the false pretenses. I want you to be pure white supremacists all day, every day. That's what I want. So that people can't deny it. You can't afford to go back to sleep again. When you are always under the gun, when you are always under the knife, we don't have to have stupid, silly conversations. Individuals like Barrister can call up and ain't nobody trying to hear him. If they weren't pulling the antics that they're pulling over there in Frisco right now, Barrister could sit up here and pull a damn Trayvon Martin. Ain't nobody trying to hear what he got to say. But that's a direct result of the fact they are being so overwhelmingly blatant. In the chat room, don't try to tell me how to run my program either. We gonna let the coons speak. That's what I'm talking about, wanting to go back to sleep again. If you're scared, go to church.
And deal with it.
We ain't scared of no coons over here. I don't pretend about white supremacy. I can't tell you there's white supremacy and then not show it to you and prove it. I'm telling you there's white supremacy, then I'm proving it. I'm telling you that there are coons, then I'm proving it. So yes, we want to have Barrister and all of his ilk so we can prove that they exist. Well, why do y'all keep talking about them? Because they're still here. That's why. We're still talking about them because they still here. So, nigga, if you scared, go watch some soap operas. We ain't scared of no coons around here. This is B1 country. We ain't scared of no coons around here. We run the damn yard. We let them run around so we can show y'all there they are. You want to know why we exist? There they are. We ain't making it up. They right there. You need us on this wall. You need us on this post, because the enemy is right there. I can show you. There he is. All right, we got Russ up here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Russ? Unmute yourself, sir.
Hi, Jason. I just wanted to say it kind of set my feelers up when when it came to the realization that none of those kids, even during the incident, had leaked that video. It's like no one went live, no one leaked the audio, no one leaked the video. And that kind of sent my feelers up. That was a year ago. And now, if any of the information that's coming out from the court case, the people who are transcribing it apparently and pasting things into Twitter are saying, oh, the kids dapped them up and Metcalf was defending them. And I was just like, this just isn't right. That's all I had to say.
Well, without me, when this trial is over, maybe I can say a little bit more. So what I will say, folks, is you're going to see videos, including ones put up by, 1090 Cupcakes. You're going to see videos put up by folk basically like showing that, oh, the black folk in town, they all love Metcalf and this, that, and the other. And there's a story behind that about the folks who were there and whatnot. Eventually, that's going to be a subject to come up. So when you see folks try to use these talking points, just understand that there's a cultural community thing in that regard that's going on with some of the folks who were there. There's something that is long-standing that we've seen before, which is why we got to do things a certain way. But I will just tell you, some folks are on the porch and some folks are in the fields. So you will see or hear certain things like that. Eventually, we're going to have a bigger conversation about it. Can't do it right now, but eventually we will. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. My program does not exist in a vacuum. So like I say, eventually that's going to be a conversation we're going to have. But yeah, if you hear and see things like that and you see folk trying to paint that narrative, I want you to understand there's a story behind that. So be very, very careful, particularly the folks who bring those visuals to you. Those visuals are not coming from nowhere, and the folks doing it have an agenda. All right, Nikau, turn your phone around here for a minute. Things are looking kind of funny. What we doing? Back up some. There you go. All right, brother, get closer. What's on your mind? Unmute yourself. Lower left-hand corner. Microphone is in the lower left-hand corner. It looks like a little red microphone.
All right, boom.
All right, what's on your mind, brother?
All right, so going along with something you said earlier, about a couple of years ago.
Get closer.
About a couple of years ago, I ran into a situation where I was at a store and this white man pulled in and he about hit me with his car. And so when he got out, I said, hey, did you see me over here? The first thing he says to me is, hey, fuck you. And I'm like, hey, hold on, dude. I'm just saying you damn near clipped me with your car. So then he starts going on, oh, yeah, I don't give a fuck, da-da-da, this and that. You don't want to do nothing. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, ain't no way you'd be able to fight me. I can already tell. I can tell automatically by looking at dude can't fight. So my spidey senses start going off. Next thing I know, he says to me, oh, well, wait, see what happens when you come back outside the store. So I was like, oh, that's why you said that. So as soon as he said that, I go back to my car. I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to go to your car on me, and I'm going to be just going inside the store waiting on you to come back out. So I was like, cool, two can do that. As soon as I go back to my car, this dude goes running into the store.
Yep.
And I mean, takes off running. I'm like, you going to run now? I'm like, dude, you the one who was wanting to bring the action.
He thought you were an easy target.
Right. He just thought, oh, I can just go ahead. I'm going to ambush dude. I was like, okay, well, you ain't the only one out here ready. So as soon as he saw that, and the crazy part about it is when I got into the store, it's like he was on the shopping spree. I'm talking like whatever he had to grab, he hurried up, grabbed it, checked out, and like basically ran in and out the store.
Yeah, tell him to hurry up and get your receipts so you can get back out here and show me whatever it is you wanted to show me. I'm waiting for you to hurry up and come do that. So Please understand, whether it's Chud the Blunder or any of these other folk out here, Chud was running around running up on old people, children. So this is straight out of the Dylan Roof playbook. They have been looking for soft targets. I've been telling folk that forever. They are not looking for hard targets. You don't look a bit more helpless. But the thing is, that's the whole thing about buck breaking, though. He was hoping for an opportunity to do that. You showed him you wasn't going to be buck broken like that. And it looked like you was ready for anything. Candy bars on deck. What? So with that being the case, I'm letting y'all know, yeah, he thought he found a soft target. He thought he found a soft target. In particular, for them, the gold standard is seeing if they can cap a black male. Because you look like a coward going after little old folks and little old ladies and children. You know, white supremacy has no scruples, so the cowards doing that. So if they can get one of you, though, if they can get a black male, it's like, okay, there's a real trophy. See, I was able to do that. But the moment you let them know you're not an easy target, everything goes south. Everything.
Right. Yeah, that was all I had to say.
All right, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Everybody out there, you need to be ready. They don't know if you're a soft target. They're looking to see if you're a soft target. They don't know that you are, but they're going to be checking and testing to see if you are. So anyone and everyone out here, that's what it is. Wherever you go, in the South, in the North, in the Midwest, in the Northwest. It doesn't matter. In Alaska. What? In Hawaii. Damn. It doesn't matter where you are. The white supremacists are out here. They have been emboldened. And some of them, they're letting it be known what the real racial agenda is and that they are domestic terrorists. And they are looking for black people to target. So to everyone within the sound of my voice, I've been broadcasting for years. It literally will take you a couple of days to have you a candy bar in the mail. It takes you a couple of days to have one if you don't get one locally. But y'all stop running around out here with your bare damn hands. Stop running around out here naked. The white supremacists have been arming themselves to the teeth now for decades. And as a group, ironically enough, they're more cowardly as a group than they are as individuals if they can find a soft target. They want to check to make sure you're unarmed. Okay, make sure you're unarmed. Okay, good. Now let me go get something. They're not, if you run up on them, it goes different. Chud the Blunder was not expecting somebody to take him to task when he tried that garbage. He thought it was going to be like every other situation. The first time he got confronted was the last time it needed to happen. And the rest of them are no different. So for all of you, don't be a soft target. Stop sitting up here focusing on being soft targets. I don't give a damn about your footwear, your cell phone, your gaming console. That don't mean a damn thing on these damn streets out here. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. For the concealed carry thing. Hey, remember, Rittenhouse exempted everybody from that. What? Remember? Oh, I'm not going to play no games with nobody. Rittenhouse exempted everybody from that, remember? Doesn't have to be concealed. Hell, the gun don't have to be legal. Butt kissing bushmeat barrister was not ready for that. He wasn't ready for me to remind you all of this stuff. Hey, Kyle Rittenhouse's gun was not legal. That damn thing was federally illegal. And both the judge, the state judge, and the feds, hello, Joe Biden, all of them let him off. Now, that was a straw man purchase, and they said, oh, ain't no crime here. All right, that's going to be the rule for everybody. If his weapon, and do you all know this, I don't say gun. Did you notice I don't say gun? His weapon was illegal. You all gave that a pass. That will be the rule for all of us. If his weapon was de facto legal, you're saying it's been decriminalized? Well, then I don't care what Karmelo Anthony had in his hands. You set the precedent with Kyle Rittenhouse that the weapon can be decriminalized ex post facto. All right. So let's talk about everything else. Now that we got that sussed out, now that's not an issue. Let's talk about everything else. Notice all of a sudden they don't want to do that. All right, we got James here on Zoom. James, what's on your mind?
Thank you for the broadcast. I really appreciate it. What I have noticed is most of these white supremacists, racists, and white people in general are choosing to think like a bushmeat barrister, to ignore all the obvious, that Karmelo was innocent, minding his business, being innocent, until he was approached. None of this would have happened had that Metcalf young guy, God rest his soul, when it came up to him. And I'm not sure if you can give us information as far as there being more than the brothers who approached Karmelo while he was sitting down telling him to leave, or was it just one of the Metcalfs, the one who got killed? And a question is, what are we going to do as a people with all this evidence of these people just...
Well, here's the real thing about it, brother. See, when it's us, everybody starts talking about, why didn't you run? For us, if a white person confronts you, you're supposed to run. You're supposed to take off running. Everything boils down to, for 1090 Pancakes and others, everything boils down to, for you have no expectation to defend yourself. If you get confronted by a white person, you are never supposed to take action. These are plantation rules. Your only option is if a white person runs up on you, oh, Lordy, oh, my Lord, oh, I hope my feet don't fail me now. It becomes that. Now, if they run up on you, all of a sudden, well, they were scared, so they can do whatever they want to you. Ain't no illegal anything. Everything is legal because your unforgivable blackness is your weapon. So what I'm saying is I'm not playing no games with anybody. Those are the damn rules. Once you set that. So I have questions for the Metcalf family. Why didn't Austin run? Why didn't him and his brother run? You all are students. Why are you saying anything to Karmelo? Why didn't you go get an adult? Brother, if you were at a basketball game at your kid's school, you wouldn't be telling them they're deputized to go in on somebody else's team. Why did you not go get an adult? I've been saying that since day one. So why did they not get up and run and go get an adult? Why didn't they do that? If he was first of all, he was not somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. That's the first thing. He had a right to be there just like everybody else. There was no reason for them to say anything to him. If he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, they can go get their teacher. They can go get an adult. Instead, Austin is like, well, I'm 6 foot something and 200 something pounds, and I got a history of this kind of stuff, so let me go ahead and do X, Y, Z. That is a behavior emboldened over a period of time, which is why none of the media want to discuss this part of it. Now, they had no problem trying to investigate those things with Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, or anybody else. It didn't find anything. George Floyd, all they want to talk about is him using drugs. I'm like, okay, well, if you're past, that has nothing to do with that incident, by the way. If that's fair game, all right, so glad you all introduced that, so we're going to introduce this. All of a sudden, the same folk who said that to you don't want to discuss past anymore. So what I'm telling you all, and by the way, Camille was hinting at this. Weigh your words carefully. Okay. Folks, we've been looking into it. This isn't something I'm just saying here. There is documentation. That documentation has been restricted now that in the wake of the trial. There is documentation. There is information that if you all hear that, it starts filling in a lot of gaps, or at least a lot of this missing information. What type of person are we dealing with? Did they have a history of this kind of thing? What was the home life? You know, since Michael Knowles on Megyn Kelly's program wanted to claim that we need to talk about issues in the black community and the black culture and what causes this. You know what, Michael Knowles, so glad you said that. I like to talk about Austin Metcalf's culture in the home, although they've been restricting the paperwork and the documentation on it. So there are reports out there. There are reports out there about, I would just say, contact with the state. Let me just say that. That there are reports out there about contact with the state, and the state is not being very forthcoming or very generous with documentation when you ask for this. We can't get anything. However, folks are saying that that's a known issue. That's a known thing. And what do you know? We ask for that, and nobody wants to give. They want. Well, we're since it's minors. We ran this. We got reports about. I will say that I've seen documentation. We got reports about folks wanting to run things up to the Attorney General's office. Oh, well, we checked with them and we cannot. We're supposed to release this information, but since there are minors involved or it's the school district, we've determined we shouldn't release that information. So, like I said, I don't want to drip these things out piecemeal. I just want you all to understand that there's a reason that you haven't heard anything or haven't gotten anything. And amazingly enough, in the last year, you haven't seen any of your corporate media outlets demanding this information or letting you know that they asked for it. Now, remember, they went asking for Trayvon Martin, juvenile court record, juvenile arrest record. Has he ever been in any trouble? Remember? Tamir Rice, they tried that with him, remember? So when it comes to black kids, the corporate media, CNN, you no good dirtbag bastards, y'all remember the corporate media, New York Times, everybody, why they wanted to immediately go subpoena juvenile records. Has he ever been arrested? So you're the damn victim. Trayvon Martin is the damn victim, and the media was investigating him. Yet they're not doing that with the Metcalfs. And you don't even see them saying that they even asked for it and didn't find anything. You see what I mean? They didn't even tell you, well, we asked for these records, we subpoenaed them, and there are no records. That's what you're not hearing. I will say that. Jason, why are you being coy about it? Because I like to confirm things conclusively before I make a statement, because I'm not reckless or irresponsible. What I will say is there's one thing you are not hearing from anybody right now. You are not hearing anybody tell you there are no records. Now, that's what you will not hear anyone say. No one is saying there are no records. And I'm talking about police or the school. Nobody is saying that. Now, they could shut us down very easily by simply, hey, there's no record, no, there's nothing to give you because there is no record. What they're saying is we can't give you anything because it involves minors.
Can his lawyer subpoena those records?
You can try. Will the judge let you use them? This particular judge? So, yeah, you can try it, bro. They just kicked all the damn black jurors off, so I mean, I guess you can give it the old college try, but they just kicked off the damn jurors. Only 3 black women and said, yep, these are 3 got to go. There were only 3 of them. So I'm just letting you all know that it's not for a lack of trying. It's not for a lack of investigation. And your corporate media has gone quiet because for them to report on this, they would have to say what they tried to get and what the response was when they tried to get it. So instead of saying that, they're just not saying nothing. Yeah, look how they hid with Chow and whatnot. He had a long history of doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He had a history of doing that. The media was quiet as hell. I didn't even know about that damn case until it was over. Quite frankly, I wasn't even aware of that. I didn't even know about it till it was over. Then I'm like, wow, when did this happen? And then I remembered the kid's face. And I was like, oh, I remember his face. I just don't remember the incident. Yeah, they buried that. They memory hold it. So if they're getting ready, when they want to do a lynching, they here come the cameras. When they want to hide something, okay, y'all be quiet. And then you found out about that when it was over. So where's the wall-to-wall coverage, man? Where was the wall-to-wall coverage? So the media is in on it. The corporate media is in on it. The police, the system, it's not just one person. That's what I'm telling you all. This case is another textbook example. It ain't just one person. It's a system. It's not racism if it's one person. If it's one individual, he's a renegade. I don't know what that is. You can't do this if you don't have a system to back you. You got to have a system to back you. The courts, the media, the schools, the bureaucracy, the politicians, you got to have a system to back you to do something like this. I'm just letting you all know the system is in full effect. It's in full effect, so you're going to be okay until you try to go get those records. And so far, like I say, there's been some minor things, but I don't want to say anything until I get what I'm looking for, because there's something in particular specifically that I'm looking for. And that I think we actually can get. My only issue is about them delaying things. So I'm kind of concerned about that. If I do get it, you all are going to be the first to know or second to know once I have it. But I'm letting you know, you are not going to hear anybody tell you that there are no records. So if you take anything away from this trial or anything else, I'm telling you, there's nobody saying that there's no records.
I'm trying to figure out, what are they trying to gain from this society of ours? Do they think that we are just going to continuously allow these injustices, these obvious injustices, this harm that they're doing to our children? Do you think they actually want us to turn up?
No, in their minds, their history with us has been that domestic acts of terrorism are effective. From the plantations to post-Civil War, in their minds, they want the world to go back to that. So they've got this skewed view that I want the world to go back to that, and back then we could do injustice with impunity. So they have this fever dream of turning the clock backwards, including with their misconception that our reaction to these things will be what they were historically accustomed to, even though you know that's no longer the case. So they are desperate to reclaim that with all the conditions thereof, even though it's no longer practical. But they're not, that was them, as far as they're concerned, that was the good old days. That was them, the height of everything. So that's what they're trying to reclaim, even if it's impractical. That's what it's about.
Do you think these people are ever going to grow up, be men, real women, and keep things in the proper perspective instead of trying to invent all kinds of illusionary
No.
justice?
Brothers and sisters, I know he's married to a black woman. I know that he was really inspired by Japanese cinema. There's a part of me that, but I also know that the empire was an allegory of the Nazis. I know that too. So when we talk about George Lucas and Star Wars, the empire was an allegory of the Nazis. So just be very, very clear about that. George Lucas, he wasn't under any misconceptions that, you know, that was one of the inspirations for the empire, specifically Nazi Germany and the way that was working. The reason why I bring that up is because when you talk about the Sith, and I don't want to get too nerdy or wonky here, when you talk about the Sith didn't have to be thousands of people. There was only 2 of them. Unlike the Jedi had thousands of them. The Sith is only 2 of us. 1 master, 1 apprentice. The point is, in the old days, there were thousands of Sith just like there were Jedi. So these 2 huge armies, one representing the light side, one representing the dark side. And eventually the Jedi had whittled them down until they were going extinct. But they realized they didn't need that. So long as there's 1 Sith running around out there, the dark side lives. As long as you got 1 white supremacist running around out there, brother, As long as just like the Sith, as long as there's one of them around out there, he ain't sitting still. He's talking to people. He's whispering to people. He's writing his little fake novels. He's writing his little handbooks. You ain't never seen these. When these white supremacists go into isolation, they're never in isolation. They're never in isolation. The Turner Diaries, no matter what, brother, they're always working, always before the internet. These things I'm naming is way before the internet. So there's a reason for that. As long as one of them is out there, he's talking and whispering and proselytizing. And let me see if I can bring in, they'll have small groups because he understands the lower your profile, the less likely you are to be targeted. Be quiet. They think in terms of generations. Being too bold and being too high profile will get you got. So we got to be quiet and lay low, but that doesn't mean we get still. So you have to keep moving. So they have a culture of whispering. Remember, they're off in the backwoods. You and me would never do that. I mean, they want to be in places where there is no electricity. I mean, they're the ones who invented off the grid. See, black folk were sent into exile in the woods. These white folk, no, we're off the grid. So they're like, yeah, I have the option of being in the city. I don't want to be there. Too high profile, you can be seen. I want to be someplace that nobody can see me. What are you doing that you don't want to be seen? And then you hear about a judge who says, turn off them damn cameras.
I think white America, those who think Karmelo should be in prison because of that stabbing that was inadvertent on his part, they need to take a look at themselves in the mirror and truly ask themselves, do they want to die? Do they want to be in prison? Because they're going to be reactions to this unfairness that they are trying to execute. And I don't want to get hurt. I don't want white supremacists trying to target me. Once if fairness is displayed and he's found not guilty, I don't need them turning up because of the attitudes that they have about injustices when they are doing the injustices because they refuse to listen to logic. They refuse to.
Well, here's the thing, brother. As Attorney Alton Maddox would have told you, we cannot be dependent upon their accepting these things. We cannot live our lives hoping that they find civilization, civility, or whatever. They are in a race war against you. Your job is to recognize the race war's on. That's your job, is to recognize that is where you are, not where you're on your way to. And to live your life and make the adjustments accordingly. You were born and raised and live behind enemy lines. Now, you just have to accept that reality. Or don't get caught out there somewhere by yourself and get ambushed because they're looking for soft targets and you never know when your numbers come up. So you can either get that mindset ahead of time and everywhere you go and everything you do, you're operating like that, or you can live in denial of it. That's an option too. I don't recommend anybody do that. I don't recommend anyone do that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. Let me go ahead and see if we can get, all right, I'm a woman up here. What's on your mind, ma'am?
Hey, so I was calling in tonight. Once again, thank you for everything that you do. And I wanted to touch on a point that you made. So this area where this stuff happened, this whole case hits differently for me in a few different ways. This area, I know for a fact is very like Frisco. When Frisco became Frisco, Plano, all of that back in like 93, 94, my uncle's wife. My uncle was a doctor at UCLA. He passed away. And for some reason, my aunt decided to his wife that he left, living here, his widow, she decided to move to Frisco. And this is back in 93, 94. So I can remember as a young girl because she took us to Las Vegas. We went to the whole little museum where they had the show Dallas. She ended up moving to Frisco. And this is in 93, 94. So I can remember as a young girl going into this community and seeing the big billboards and telling people to buy homes there. So you fast forward to when this stuff happened, I automatically associated myself with that community because in the summertime, I would spend time there. My uncle had a son, and his son was extremely intelligent, went to school there, but I can remember instances of him saying things about being bullied when he was at school. But during the summertime, like it was a community of there were Asians, Blacks, whites, everything. People were moving into that area. So fast forward to now with everything going on and me being someone that lives in a predominantly white state, predominantly white community. I will say that you cannot say that that young man did not encounter some sort of white supremacy when it comes to young white men thinking that they run things. That's just how it goes when you have those communities. And I just want to touch on what you said earlier about us protecting our children and not letting them just be willy-nilly everywhere without us. When there's a track meet, when there's a football game, when there's a basketball game, be there.
Because here's the thing. Austin Metcalf and his brother weren't on the damn track team. Carmelo was on the track team. They're football players. So it's like, okay, what are you all here for? Moral support?
Right.
Because you claim you weren't there looking for trouble, but by the way, excuse me, the only one of you under that tent who was supposed to be there was Carmelo. He was the only one there for track. So once again, the media does not bring this out. Now, had they been black, that would be the only thing. These two black football playing 6'3", 250-pound dudes ran up on this little scrawny white kid. They weren't even supposed to be there. He was on the track team. They weren't even supposed to be there. That's what they would have been saying. So when you realize that one thing alone, notice they're not repeating that. That would be the constant narrative. They would be repeating it on every newscast until everybody in America heard it, and that would be the narrative. Hey, these guys weren't supposed to be there. There would be no story about a knife or anything. Hey, you guys weren't even supposed to be there. We assume you were starting trouble. You're not even supposed to be there. Well, that's proof of something. Now over here, it's like, oh, y'all done forgot. Well, yeah, because these people haven't reminded you. Now, if it was a black kid, they would have it on constant rotation, reminding you to make sure every other sentence would be, by the way, they weren't supposed to be there. Karmelo Anthony, who wasn't on the track team, a football player who wasn't on the track team. That's what they would have been saying.
And that's normally the case. Whereas I have a son who played every sport. Heisman Trophy type dude. Only thing he didn't play was baseball, my oldest. But what I will say is, with the fact that I know that these kids will have their times when they try things. And it's very important, like you said, for us, go to those games. If you can't make it to a game and you're working, there should be an uncle, a friend, or somebody that we should all be networking with to where we can be like, hey, I can't make it to that game, but can you go? There should be something in place, because every time, like when you have people like me that move out of state and you have children, you got to connect with someone to where you have people there that you trust. And the person that I loved and trusted, he passed away, and he was a black man. And after that, I knew that it was my duty. If their stepfather could not make it, then I had to be there. And I didn't mind. Of course, I'm going to be there. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is the whole situation with not being under tents. I want to say this, and I don't give a care who thinks anything. My kids, when I say my boys played every sport, my oldest played every sport except for baseball. My youngest, he did everything except for track. Every time there was a game, his younger brother was a JV player. He never got to varsity. So he would always go. Everyone knew him because of his older brother. They're Black, they're in a white community. Okay, everyone knows them. But guess what? When they would go to games, my son would be over on the visitor side talking to kids. Kids from the school would be mad at him for being over on that side. Every single game that was videotaped at our school, you will see us on the visitor side, even when they played here in our town, because our kids will be on that side of the they're playing on that, like they're sitting on the bench on that side. So if I need to give them a Gatorade, if they need water, whatever they need, or if they need like, hey,
yeah, I mean, that wasn't
together.
extraordinary. That wasn't, anything like that. They want you to think that is, but that was not an extraordinary thing. But this is why the media narrative is so important, because they craft it how they want to. Otherwise, they would be bringing these things into relief. They would be bringing these things in proper context. This would be what they would have been repeating for the last year. So just understand the fact is so many things have been lost and disregarded, and now all of a sudden they're just swarming back in. They haven't been interested all this time, but all of a sudden they're swarming back in. It's like, okay, hopefully you've forgotten all the details, and now we're just going to write this thing the way we want to, leaving out all these hideous big pieces. So yes, and you make a very good point. Running around out here as free agents, you ain't no damn free agents. Because when these folk came after Karmelo, it's the whole damn group coming after him. It's not just one person. Group. All the adults. Here comes this whole school, the whole police department, the whole media. So no, you acting like you by yourself and I make enough income to qualify for my mortgage. Your mortgage is not your neighborhood. Your mortgage is not your tribe. The bank that approved you is not going to be at the game making sure that you're safe and everything's straight after the sale. What you do as a people in a community and a family, a bunch of single chicks trying to wing it on their own. I got a subprime mortgage. We cool. That ain't hitting on nothing.
That ain't it.
These people are looking at you by yourself. If they can't get you, let's see if we can get your man. If we can't get your man, let's see if we can get your mama. Can't get your mama, where your kids. Can't get the kids, where the grandkids. It's anybody and everybody, anywhere they can catch you. And there is no city that's safe. You're a little quiet suburb and whatnot. No, that's the most dangerous place for you to be, is the suburb, by the way. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. That's what you found out with Trayvon Martin. The parents have to be smarter than this. The parents have to be more capable than this. The parents want to live in a damn dream world and have to be more capable than this. That's the issue. They have to be more capable than that. If you have children out here and you got folks sitting up here and it's like, okay, we got a job, man, forget all that. Forget all that. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. Your ability to get an income, your ability to qualify for a mortgage, your ability to move into that suburb over there. It's like, oh, this is nice. It's like, okay, man, where your people at out here? Where your people? Well, folks, my job is straight. Okay, what about the school? It's a good school. What do you define as good? What do you define as good? Because these other folk are like, hey, you being here makes the thing bad. Our school district was fine till you came here. Then you find those things out the hard way here. So I want everyone to understand, look here, man, you ain't a free agent. You're not a free agent. You're not here by yourself. These folk, as far as they're concerned, they set all this up for them, and they will resort to anything, including terroristic tactics, including targeting your children. We're letting them know they ain't supposed to be here. You're concerned about going to your job and every damn thing else. And by the way, one more thing, it didn't help Karmelo. No criminal record, no problems, no anything. That didn't help him. They got you in a damn trick bag. They have you using metrics that don't matter or don't exist. He was squeaky clean as a whistle. So was Tamir Rice. So were most of the rest of them. That's not going to help you. And if the person who harmed you has an arrest record a mile long, George Zimmerman, that's not going to help you. George Zimmerman was the criminal career record in that situation. Domestic violence and every damn thing else. Saw the media backed off of that. They're like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. So that's what I'm saying. I do not play those games with them. I don't want to hear a damn thing you got to say because I know you're already crooked and bogus. I know you already are. Let's go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let's see if we can get Timothy up here on Zoom for us. All right, Timothy, I'm not sure if you're paying attention. If you stepped away from your phone or your computer or something, man, you just picked a bad time to do that. I can give you 5 more seconds, then we're going to have to go ahead and move on. I can give you 3 more seconds, then we have to move on. I can give you 1 more second, then we have to move on. All right, Timothy, see if you can join us some other time here. Let's see if we can get Steven up here on Zoom. All right, Steven, we got you here on Zoom. What's on your mind?
How you doing? How you doing,
turn
Jake?
off your speakers. You can join us some other time here. Let's see if we can get Steven up here on Zoom. All right, Steven, we got you here.
Okay,
Steven, you're killing the program here, sir. Turn off the speakers.
Sorry.
Turn off your speakers. Turn off your YouTube, sir.
Can you hear me now, Jake?
Yes, sir. I hear you. Turn off your speakers, sir. Turn off your YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Sorry. Okay.
Turn off your YouTube, sir. Sir, I hear you. Turn off your speaker. Okay, brother. When you get that figured out, you can give us a call back sometime here. In any case here, folks, I want you to be aware that's what you had. You're not on your way to it. You're in the middle of it. There is no safe place. A lot of y'all, you just want to go about your lives and be left alone. You don't want to be in the race war. You don't want to be in that. Can I just get my cell phone and it's Friday night? Can I just go get turned up? Let's just admit that. You really just want to get beyond that. It's like, hey, it's Friday night. Can I just go get turned up? Can I just get my cell phone, watch some Netflix, smoke a little something? Man, you behind enemy lines. And situations like this remind you. Situations like what happened with Chow there in South Carolina, that reminds you. You're behind enemy lines, man. Your desire to be in denial of it doesn't change your geographic location. You are behind enemy lines. So I have to tell you all, as sad as it is, situations like this, we need that. We need to have the constant tension. We need to have the constant pressure. We need to have the constant stress on you so that you don't get to go back to sleep, because that's the first thing folks want to do. First thing they want to do is get back to sleep again. Oh, well, don't bother me with that. Can't I just do something different over here? Don't bother me with that. Why are you stressing me with this stuff over here? Let me just go ahead and go to my job and hang out and get turned up. And man, just leave me alone with that, bro. Why you got to do all that? Why we got to have all that? Can't I just sit over here? And then things like this happen. When this goes down, it's like it doesn't matter where you worked. It doesn't matter what you did. All of a sudden, your blackness becomes all-consuming. Please understand in this case, see, where folks like Megan Ku Klux Kelly come into the situation, the white supremacists like Megan Ku Klux Kelly, There was no racial aspect to this coming from Karmelo. Karmelo didn't make any racial statements. He didn't say them white boys is messing with me, and yet the white supremacists descended on him. So they can't say there's a racial element to it except their own, the one they're always doing. They saw a black child who could not be readily abused, and they said, oh, hell no. Not gonna have that. You must be eligible to be abused, victimized at any time, at any place by any white person who walks up on you. And we don't want anyone setting the precedent that they don't have a right to do that to you. When you see things like this, it starts putting in your head, hey, folks don't have a right to do that. When you start reminding them, hey, what about the law under George Zimmerman? Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's that right there. So I want everyone in here. We are 13 years after Trayvon, actually going on 15 years after Trayvon Martin. I need everyone in here, black folk, black parents, cut the damn bull jive. You're not a free agent. You're not independent. You got children. You got to be watching them. You wanting to escape where you were born so that you can have a happily ever after. And meanwhile, you leaving the children unguarded. Everybody got to keep on top of that. Don't let them tell you everything's okay. You don't, a lot of y'all want to sit up here, you just want to ask your kids how your day at school goes so you can get back to the turn up. No. When you talk to your kids, you need to ask them all the details. Don't tell me everything, all right, details. Then you start hearing about folk at school. You start hearing about teachers. You start hearing about folk messing with them. That's when you start getting the details, when you demand them. It is incumbent on everyone to keep that in mind. We'll be following this. We'll be tracking this. But more importantly, all of you need to be on top of this as well. You be watchful for this. The white supremacists want to hold this up as a bellwether moment. They want to hold this up as a new era lynching. Trayvon Martin was one of them from the 20-teens. And now in the 2020s, they want to have a new era lynching. So the situation with Chow, they didn't get to do enough of a victory dance with that, and he was Asian. So that's not really what they want. What they really want is the full-flavored white supremacy. So they need to make a better example. So the Asian dude, that wasn't enough. No, they want this over here. There's a reason that they've all descended on it and obsessed over it and fixated on it so badly, because they're letting you know this represents white supremacy. So this is a wellness check on the health of white supremacy. This is a wellness check to see if white supremacy is still valid and still in charge, and to see how strong it is. So keep your eyes and ears open, because if he is not convicted of this, watch for the white supremacists to go into meltdown. Because white supremacy is supposed to be easy. Victimizing you is supposed to be easy. A system that enforces it is supposed to be easy. Convicting you, whether you're guilty or not, is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be easy. And it isn't. Let me send a shout out here to my man V. Vinny. Been a minute since we've seen you here, brother. Very glad to see your face back up in the place here again. To my man Mark B, Pamela Greer, Tom Slick, Bayou Billy, Charlotte, and everybody else here who's contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to all of y'all here. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every holiday, weekends, some days in between. So click that subscribe button, that notification button. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you haven't been to blackchannelfilms.com, check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work at blackchannelfilms.com. You definitely want to be a part of that as well. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.